Hello, everyone. How are we doing this fine, soggy day? Look at that. Look at that poor Stargate cam. Just miserable. Soggy miserableness. All right, let's get rid of this damn music. Oh, music. How nice it would be if you were gone. I like those tunes. Hello, Appshade, Gervais, Anima Confusa, Hallie Drescher, Captain Catherine, Wolfpup, of course. You can't hear me because I haven't turned on the mic yet. I'm guessing you're a little behind, but I'm not positive. I see the microphone going. Good evening. Is David listening to the same music as us? Because there's no way that dancing matches the music. James R. Gurney, a dancing expert, you are not. 80s dancing, you would know nothing about it. It's a fine lost art. My aunt thinks it's cute when she talks like a little kid, which is not. But she would probably say boo-boo for dramatic effect. She talks like a little kid. There's nothing creepier than grown-ups talking like little kids.
There's something really gross about it.
Yeah, something creepy about it. First-time fan! New Zealand, Lord of the Rings fan. Hello from New Zealand. We're a good place if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. Everyone, welcome New Zealand fan. It's a hard one to say. I'm assuming it's Lord of the Rings, right? What do you think of the new trailer? You excited about that? You gonna get yourself in there? Another first-time chatter from Aquatic Alice. Oh, Alice is underwater, apparently. Hello, Aquatic Alice. Everyone say hello. James Gurney, that's Muppet dancing. We don't have the ability to understand that concept. Anima Confused, it's very true. Very true. It's a fine art of Muppeting. Green Bay, 1993 is already subscribed. Thank you. Boy, you jumped in on that. Hapshade. We said hello to Hapshade. Also, we said to Jonathan MLH. Way up, right up the top there. Look at you, Jonathan MLH. Bouncing in there, jumping in there. Dr. Quest MD. That sounds exciting. Dr. Quest MD. It sounds like you should be a television show or something. Cheryl Cohen. Did I say hi to Xenos? Xenos! How are you, Xenos? We can expect a food tease soon, I'm sure. What else we got? My food tease today is Abadoos. I feel like food tease-wise, my son makes these amazing sandwiches. My son who's not here right now. My son and my wife went to L.A. for vacation. And I took the road less traveled by. And what? Aquatic Alice, what are you doing? Holy mother. That is insane. Thank you so much. Throwing subs around like they were sandwiches. Oh, sub sandwich. And Hukumba. Hukubama. Something like that. Hey! Right back at you. Aquatic Alice, that's very, very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Yes, the New Zealand LOTR fan is, in fact, a Lord of the Rings fan. I thought you might be. Hello, John P7, says James Gurney and everyone else. Untidy Tech. I printed the Daedalus the other week. It's great being able to print things from the shows you watch. It is amazing, isn't it? Really fun. I printed a little camera stand for my for one of my web cameras so that I can have Octoprint, which is a way of monitoring and controlling your 3D printer. So I have my Prusa on an old Mac, which is running Ubuntu Linux, and has a webcam attached to it, so I can actually check in and see what's going on. I must say, I'm so rusty on the Linux stuff right now, like so rusty that I keep screwing things up. But it really is, as always, very fun. The other thing I'm doing, which is interesting, CNC print a replicator spider. I wonder how you do that. I guess you could CNC the parts and then sort of like have to come up with a way of, well, if anyone's, I've actually wanted to do a spider. I've actually wanted to do a wooden spider because I wanted to give one as a gift to my friends who've been just really helpful with all the Tech Bandit stuff in the past. There's some friends of ours who are both insect and spider scientists, basically. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to get them a CNC spider. So something like, one of those almost like those puzzles that you can get of dinosaurs and stuff that all sort of stick together. It'd be fun. If anyone finds anything, let me know. All right, what do we got? Wolfpup is enjoying fat and fart on the little screen avatars. Well done there, Wolfpup. Wolfpup, are you not on holiday or something? Shouldn't you be off gallivanting around like my son. I should explain what happened because everyone, nope, just a simple no. Nope. You've done you're kind of on vacation anyways because you're in a new place. You know, Wolf Pup's just moved to New Brunswick, so has a whole new place to explore. Oh, mine was last week. I wish they'd get their damn holidays sorted out. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Wolf Pup. I didn't realize that. So now you're back in the mix. I'll pop into the chat in a bit, but I wanted to do a little catch up and chat with people first, and then I will jump in. So a few things. First off, why the fudge am I not in LA? It's a good question. I talked to my wife about this. She's been dying to go to on vacation for ages. I, at the best of times, don't like traveling. And that has become, what is the term? Exacerbated? I never get those words right. Become much worse since the pandemic. And for me, it's not even about getting sick. It's just all of the logistics around travel now. The having to test and then having to test before you go home and then worrying about, am I going to give this, is it possible I might inconvenience everyone with an infection while I'm away? And I'm just really, really stressed out about it. And I realized as we got closer to the day that we were going to go that I was really stressing out about it, and I was not going to be fun to be around. And you know me, normally I'm such a laugh and a gas to be around. Gas, that's my dog. Holy mother, that dog can clear a room now. I don't know what I'm feeding her, but it's the wrong thing. Anyways, so I talked to Jane about it, and she was not happy, but she agreed that if I was going to be miserable, I probably shouldn't come. So I ended up canceling my ticket. So I didn't go, and it was sort of a combination of things. Now that looking back on it and coming up with excuses as to why I didn't go. First off, I was really torn because obviously there's nothing more important in my life than my wife and my fabulous son. But I felt that they had plans for going. They had so many plans, and every single plan they came up with, I was coming up with reasons why it was a bad idea. And I just felt like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that McKay who's just like, McKay, maybe the wrong term. I don't want to be the guy who's going to just be like dumping on everything that they want to do. So I decided not to go. Of course, this initiated like a landslide of phone calls from parents and friends saying like, "Are you okay? Has she left you?" Everyone's immediate response is that I've screwed it up and that Jane has left. And while I certainly screwed it up and that I should have probably let her know earlier that I was out, but I thought I tried to sort of put it away and not worry about it and I was just going to march forward and go on with the trip as planned. But then, as I said, as we got closer to it, I just realized it was just not. There's so many things right now going on in my head because of what's happening in the world, I would argue, between COVID and this horrific situation in Ukraine and someone was asking about my shoulders and shoulder pain and such that I couldn't bear it. Like I just couldn't. And I also just felt really, there's something kind of, not to judge people who I think if Jane, more than anyone on this planet, I would say needs a freaking holiday. She's worked so hard for so long. She absolutely deserves it. And Baz too. So that semblance of normalcy is very important to them, that being able to do that. But for me, it just felt like, it felt frivolous. It felt wrong somehow. So yeah. And, testament to my fabulous wife, she sort of let me go with that and has gone on the holiday without me, which is good, because my fear was that Baz was going to say, "Oh, you're not going? Oh, I don't want to go then." But he was like, "Oh, good." I was like, "What?" He goes, No, I'll totally miss you, but I'm glad you're not coming because you don't want to be there. It was it's becoming apparent. So anyways, I did not want to be a Davy Downer. That's a very good way of putting it, Jacander Painting, so to speak, because your mood was not conducive to an enjoyable time. Yeah, it just really wasn't. I would do it if I get away with it. Turtle Princess, God, I feel awful. Like, hi, I'm Paul, maybe. Subscribe. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Paul, maybe. Well, you can now decide whether you're Paul or not. In fact, you don't even have to. Here, it doesn't matter. You're free to be. This is a safe space for people to be maybes. So I feel really bad about it. I did a lot of apologizing to Jane because I felt really bad and I was worried that maybe it was just my headspace was wrong and all this kind of stuff. But I think at some point you get to a point in your life when you realize, what works and what doesn't work for you, and when that is. And I felt that there would be much more damage done by me going than if I didn't. So that was that. So am I heading to any nearby comic book conventions instead? Oh yeah, no, huge, lots of conventions instead. No, that's the other thing is like, which reminds me, yeah, I'm not doing conventions either. Like my wife said, look, if it was work, you would go. And I said, yeah, well, if it was work, I would go because because first off, the money is needed. I got to support the family. And I mean, Jane supports herself as well, but I mean, I need to bring money. I got to do my part. And also work is something that I can get my head around because there's an infrastructure in place that can handle all the logistics of the vaccinations and the testing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm triple vaxxed. I'd get every vax they'd throw at me, frankly. I'm a complete hypochondriac, and I'll take anything they can get. So, what's Wolfpup trying to get away with? Duel. Yeah, nice try, Wolfpup. Cal says, thank you. Hi, I'm Paul Maybe, and Aquatic Alice for Cal, I think you're behind the times. Aquatic Alice and Paul Maybe, I've already thanked them, just so you know. Cal, poor Cal. Somebody wake up Cal. Hello, Cal. We love you. If I don't, this is rigged. You have a sword and a shield. How do you get a sword and a shield in there? People have surpassed my expectation of this game already. This is just a little thing called Steam Avatars that runs through, I guess, Steam Labs or whatever this thing is called. Whatever it is that Barnacules absolutely hates. I feel bad because I'm sort of supporting a company that he doesn't like, but I find it very useful for me. It makes things simple. It's for me. It's the streaming for dummies. It allows me to do that. Aha. I have Elden Ring. So Wolfpup's got Elden Ring. I know that. Yeah. We know that, Wolfpup. Weren't you playing it the other day? I think wasn't that old news, buddy. Old news. I can't even do more than accept a duel and then watch helplessly. Exactly. It's done via Streamlabs. I know. Sorry. I know. Untitled Tech. I'm sorry. Today I became a member of the Planetary Society. Oh, well done, World Productions. That's fantastic. What is required to become a member of the Planetary Society? Are you invited or do you have to sign up? How does that work? I know she gifted mad subs. No kidding, Captain Catherine. Like Aquatic Alice went crazy with that stuff. It's amazing. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, so I see. I thanked Aquatic Alice for all the gifted tiers, but then she also signed up as well. Hi, I'm Paul, maybe subscribed. Yes. And then Aquatic Alice subscribed. Yes. Got it. Okay. Fine. Cal's right. Whatever. Yeah. Streamlabs has kind of essentially stole the OBS name from OBS, shifty company. Yeah. Hallie Drescher. I know. And I fell for that. I thought they were part of OBS. I just assumed that they were connected. Blah, blah, blah. Cal, you're slow when really David, am the slow one. Blah, 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 blah. The only problem with Cal is it's hard to bring the hammer to Cal. Cal wields the hammer, but unfortunately does not share it. Essentially a subscription. That's right, World Production. Exactly. I see. So you subscribe. And what do you get for that subscription, World Productions? I mean, should TechBandits sign up to become part of the Planetary Society and get all that info? I effectively turned down a promotion today, got asked if I'd be the manager of a team, and I was like, hell no, I'm a techie. Nice work on Tidy Tech. That's a funny you should say that. I worked at a voicemail company before the internet sort of took off. That was a packet network system. And one of the most alarming parts of working in an office, which I had never done before, was getting promoted up into management. And as you get further and further up the chain, you get further and further away from what you like. And of course, after a little while, I wanted nothing to do with it because the reality is I don't, the whole point of, if I want to deal with people, I've got the film industry for that. There's like tons of, I go to a film set, there's 150, 200, 500, whatever people to talk to every day when you go to set. I mean, that's when I'm in chatty Hewlett mode. that's when the extrovert hermit comes out, and I talk to people. But when it comes to the tech side of stuff, what I love about it is just being able to sort of like knuckle down by myself and play with stuff. And so this need to sort of push people into management when they're, as you say, a techie. I think that's that's fantastic. Good for you. Good for standing up for yourself. It's a good time to be employed too, isn't it? I mean, when's not? But I feel like the employees have a little bit more options out there now than they did before. Go for Fluffernut, subscribed. Thank you. Go for Fluffernut has thanked me for 3 months of fascinating conversations. Wow, Go for Fluffernut. Thank you very much. I just babble, and Cal cuts me up about it. That's really just how it works. Not just Cal for that matter. Basically, 100%. We got a hype train thing. Now, hey, 100,000. What? 10,000 bits? What's that? What is that? What? Wow. Holy moly, Aquatic Alice. I don't know what that means, but thank you, because I think you just did our level 1 thing. That's very sweet of you, Aquatic Alice. Look, I just popped onto chat. Oh, I wanted to try out this Twitter thing. What do you think? Should I try this? Should I try this Twitter thing? $100 donation. Holy cow! Wow. Oh my God! Thank you very much. Well, Aquatic Alice, thank you. That will go in the TechBandits coffers, and we'll have to come up with good ways of making it work for the kids. And for myself, for that matter. I'm not gonna lie. I get fun out of this too, so don't kid yourself. So thank you very, very, very much for all of that, everything you've done. Speaking of that, I saw this thing on a government website about what kids can do, kids camps and all this, because of course we're desperately looking for stuff that Baz should be doing this holiday, and this summer holiday coming up. And last year we had a big argument, and I made him get a job at a comic book store. Poor kid. What a great job. Anyways, so this year he's sort of debated seeing if he could maybe do that full time for the holidays, or he's looking at some other stuff. I found this website, this Government of Ontario summer program, where they'll give you I think it was like $5,000 to start your own business if you're a kid, and then you get guidance and development and tutorials and all sorts of stuff. And I was running it by my father and said, like, wow, I think this is a great idea. Maybe I could help some of the kids get set up, or they could use the garage as a place to sell, Magic the Gathering cards or something, or comic book, whatever. I mean, whatever they wanted to do. Or even I thought they could rent out CNC time or build something on the CNC and sell it or whatever. I mean, so I thought there's a number of things that if any of the kids had the inkling of wanting to do a job, they could come and just do it out of our garage, basically, or the basement for that matter. But because that's the whole idea, is I really wanted, the whole point of this originally was to be able to have the kids and the technology together. Like that I've got all these wonderful things that I bought originally, of course, for myself, and then I started buying stuff like robots and things to work with the kids, so they could do programming and robotics and stuff. And then of course the problem is that we've had teacher strikes and pandemics and all sorts of stuff. So of course we haven't been able to do that. So I don't need to be there with the kids for this stuff, but I want them to have access to these tools and this stuff to play with. So the idea would be to have a space that they could sort of get in and out of whenever they want to, and with minimal sort of oversight, that they can sort of do their own thing, especially now that they're like 14, 15, around there. The idea that they can actually do stuff Jonathan MLH was very, 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 very generous and gave us this fabulous, massive CNC machine, and which I've only just scratched the surface on. Literally, I scratched it. But no, I'm kidding. But the idea that I want the kids to come in and figure it out and start making stuff with it. I mean, that's what this stuff's for. It's not for me to play with. It's for the kids to play with. I wondered about what if we could somehow get this government program to help out with the kids. And I talked to my father about it. My father is a retired doctor, and another hype success. Holy crololies. Yes, Robert Picardo does belong to that. He does a lot of work for them, actually. And so I thought, wait a second. I ran it by my dad, and my dad said, well, the government, you got to fill out forms, and they're gonna have all these demands on you. And I immediately put me off it. So I went home sort of with my tail between my legs thinking like, no, he's right. There's just too much bureaucracy and I'm so bad at doing all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. And I suddenly went, wait a second, I got TechBandits money. Why don't I take a couple of chunks of change? I don't know how much is required, and maybe people can suggest that, and I could put in my own to make up for it if necessary, or sell a few coins. And why don't we set up a little business camp for it could be a virtual business camp in that it doesn't have to be people here. It could be people anywhere. I could just like PayPal people some kids the cash to start their own company, and they could just I would insist that we have weekly updates on what's going on and what they plan on doing, or maybe bi-monthly or something. I don't know. I mean, whatever the case would be. But I just thought that could be kind of fun, right? I mean, because I love the business stuff. I always talk about my business porn, I call it, which is reading these magazines and listening to all these podcasts about how people built their company from nothing and all this kind of stuff. So, all basically privileged white guys. But more and more we're seeing more diversity in this stuff, and which is sort of part of the hope I think of this is to maybe get some people who wouldn't have access to this stuff or frankly just any kid who wants this. I mean, if the kid's got the gumption to get it together to start a company, especially at an age like between 10 and 16, I think they're just well on their way to a happy and fulfilled life, because they've got they'll have those business skills that they need going into the real world, and they can afford to stumble and to make some mistakes here, especially if it's my money instead of their own. I just thought that would be kind of fun. So hey, first time chatter from Yalouse. Hi everyone, new here. I'm from France. Oh well, bonjour. Je suis une, what would it be, fan of sci-fi. I don't know what that'd be. Huge, massive. No, what's it called? What's huge in French? I don't know. Don't speak in French because you know what'll happen is Cal will get mad at me for speaking in other languages and getting people to do that. Très big, exactly, Catherine. Très big, très grande. That would be good. That's very big. Anyways, look, what I'm saying is, Yalouse, welcome. Or bonjour. Bienvenue. Bienvenue, is that right? Yeah, something like that. Bonjour, je suis français aussi. Ah, très bien. World Productions. Il est, or elle, what would it be? Il est français aussi. I think grand is correct. I forgot that. Yeah, you did, Catherine. You did. Gotta add the saliva into it, too. Oh, you gotta get grand. Français. It's true. God, I love French. I hated taking it, but God, I loved it as a language. It just sounds fantastique. Très bien. Welcome. Okay, so there's a few thoughts on the summer. Wouldn't it be fun? Maybe there's a way of saying like, look, who wants to? Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. There's also this wonderful. There's a couple of like hacker competitions type things that I thought were kind of interesting as well, that were sent to me by Jefferson's foster mom, which I should try to find here. Let's see if I can pull it up. Here. It wants my Yubikey. Well, I happen to have my Yubikey. I did until I dropped it. Oh, you want a biscuit? Hey, dog, you want a treat? I got a treat. You want one? Here. Don't get up. Okay. I don't know if you can see her. She's just sitting there chewing a treat, having a good time. All right, Ubisoft, I got to go around the other side to do this. This was a genius plan, I thought, of having a Yubikey so that I was, terribly security conscious, but of course it's a pain in the butt. All right, let's see. It's a pain in the butt, but it's also kind of fun. Well, I have to unplug something to do that? Oh my God, seriously? Oh, that sucks. Okay, we may lose a camera for a second. Hang on a second. Do this, do that. Is that done? Ah, it did it. Good. Okay, great. And I can take that out again. Uh-oh. I left a little adapter in there. Put that back in, see if that works. I think it'll start up again on its own. I wonder if it's smart enough to do that. Is it? Oh, is it really? It did that. Very good. What is a Yubikey? Yubikey it's this little thing. So it's a little tiny key. And what it is it basically with you can't log into certain things without that Yubikey, and I guess it generates a little code that the computer uses to get in. It's just a way of, I guess it's just a way of making it that much harder to get into accounts. I mean, I'm sure it's still fallible, but just I don't know why. It's a little geeky toy that I like. Okay. They're kind of neat. I mean, the idea basically is, if you store, I have like online password managers and stuff, and I thought, well, if it's just a matter of texting me a message, we know how insecure that is. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to just add the Yubikey to that. And then I was like, well, maybe I should also put the Yubikey on my main account, my main email accounts. I've done that as well, and it's just sort of taken over, and I'm kind of like it. I'm not buying one until I spend the spare money to buy two. You have to buy two on Tidy Tech. You have to. I have one carefully hidden somewhere where I don't know where it is. So when I need it, I will spend a day looking for it. Google Authenticator. I use that too, Jonathan MLH. I use that as well. Maybe not Google Authenticator, but an Authenticator program as well. I just, my thing is that everything seemed to come back to either my password manager or my email, and so I was concerned about messing with that. All right, what other interesting news do I have to tell you? Right, the fabulous James R. Gurney is going to be doing his Dungeon Mastery Best next week, Thursday. We are going to get Barnacles, we're going to get Ox, we're going to get Gimpy G, and me. I think that's it. Is there anyone else? Is anyone else coming? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I think he only wanted 4. Did he want 4 or 3? I can't remember now. Anyways, James has kindly offered to Dungeon Master for us. We are going to do a D&D stream. The hope is to do it, I believe, on Barnacles' channel, because he's got big audiences and stuff. And the idea is to sort of remind everybody about our friend Gimpy G and his situation, and drive some GoFundMe money there, because Gimpy G, for those of you who don't know, was a streamer. Was just starting out doing his streaming when his house burned down while he was streaming, and as Gimpy G is quadriplegic, can't move, works out of a wheelchair. It's very, very difficult to recreate the environment that he had, that was sort of just designed to make him feel, as he says, he said he didn't feel like he had a disability when he lived in the house the way it was set up. It's all been beautifully set up to keep him able to move and do as much as possible for himself. And one of those things was to stream. He had his own little streaming setup and everything, and the bloody place all burned down. So he has had a litany of disasters related to that. And so anything we can do to help him out on that, because frankly, we're missing out on a great voice. That guy, I mean, besides just his dulcet tones, he's just got some fantastic stories and perspectives, on stuff. He's very funny. He's almost as old as I am, and so we share a lot of old nerd history together. And he's just become a really good friend of mine. So anything we can do to help him out would be fantastic. So Gimpy G, marvelous bloke. Could listen to him all day. There you go, Movie Lad. See, Movie Lad's onto it. Movie Lad gets it. Anyways, yes. So that's the plan, is do that on Thursday. But before then, I really want to get everyone together to design characters, because James R. Gurney has said that we should come up with characters that with a good raison d'être, for those French among us, a reason to be. And I think now might be an opportunity for me to come up with a new, more grown-up version of a character for us to play with as well. I think, if I'm allowed to. Hello, Krillin. Afternoon to you. Wolf pup equals person. Male. What does that mean? Wolf pup equals person. That's all. Doesn't matter. Who cares? I mean, I care about wolf pup, but I don't know how wolf pup can, don't know how he identifies. Okay. KK, thanks. Who said that? What? Huh? Defining bloke. Oh, I see. Defining bloke. I see. Wolfpuck. It equals a person, a male, a bloke. Got it. Got it. Okay, I see. There you go. Got it. Thank you, Movie Lad. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you, Wolfpup, for that. And now Xenos is attacking Wolfpup. That's wonderful. Been a long day. Apologies. Oh, no, Movie Lad. It's not you. It's me. I'm misreading everything, aren't I? Okay, so what do we got? Got any news today or anything? Is there anything kind of fun, cool things going on? I mean, I obviously am sort of rather glued to this horrific situation in Ukraine. And feel, of course, that I haven't done nearly enough, and that this whole thing, as always, has made me reconsider everything. And one of the things that I find myself reconsidering is just like, why does this one hurt so much? Like, why does the Ukraine situation hurt so much more than all of the other wars and invasions and infringing of rights that have happened beforehand? And I can't help but wonder if it's because it's something that's familiar to me. You know what I mean? Because Europe is such a familiar. And it's basically my backyard. So it's like, while it's not in my backyard, it's not been at the forefront of my concerns. And now that it is in my backyard, and it's a nuclear power, run by an asshole. Excuse my language. Let's face it, you got to be a bit of a dick to run a country, anyways. I think there's just no way around it. But he seems just on a whole other level. He seems Bond villain at this point. So I've spent a lot of time, what do they call it? Ruminating? I call it ruinating, right? You sit there, everything's ruined. So a lot of like doom scrolling and looking through all these horrific news articles, both true and imagined. But the thing that's come out of it, out of everything that happens to me, everything in my life, I always try to find something of interest, something positive to learn, or to some kind of an action that goes with whatever is happening, to like some kind of a good reaction to what's going on. And what I've really found fascinating about the whole Ukraine situation is the coverage that's happening now. This availability of information through the open source intelligence community, where they are taking satellite images that used to be the realms of massive, country, what do they call them? State actors. State actors. Anything that says actor in it, my ears prick up immediately. But yeah, so they used to be the realm of like governments, whereas now you can download an image for $20 or something and have a satellite image of what's happening on the ground, wherever you want in the world, basically, which is just. I find it absolutely fascinating. And so I've started one of the rabbit holes that I went down was like looking into this OSINT stuff and how much I enjoyed this coverage, because what would happen is a piece of news would come in, a bunch of these either retirees or amateurs, or even I guess just people who were interested in the various different sections of the military, or in politics, or in intelligence, hacking, all sorts of stuff. They would then all pile on whatever the article was and try to figure out how much of it was truth and how much of it was fiction, and explain how they came to those conclusions. And I've just found that absolutely one of the most exciting things to come out of this horror. Obviously not to equate my joy of learning with the deaths of innocent people, but obviously I think the fact that the eyes of the world are able to be on this, and in large part through what I hope is certainly as nonpartisan as we can get. Obviously, I'm following people who don't believe that Russia is in the right, so obviously I'm going to hear that side of stuff. It does bother me that obviously the other side is spreading news worthy of repeating for the most part. Though I do worry that again we're seeing things from our perspective on things. So anything I can do to help sort of open that up and make that more available is just like fascinating to me. So anyway, so I'll be doing that. I started doing some of these, like, there's these fun projects where you can actually go and you basically take a photograph, and then your job is to try to figure out where that photo was taken. And I suck at it, but it's just a really neat way of learning how to identify things, what you could be giving away in a photo. and it's something that I would love to do more of. And then the other thing that's come out of it is, there was lots of discussions about blockchain and cryptocurrencies and stuff while I was, while I was reading this stuff about how, I wondered if perhaps, people were trying to get money out of Russia, or Ukrainians were trying to store their money in places where they could get to it later, and whether the digital currencies would become a part of that process. And it doesn't look like it has. And I'd be very careful not to be speculative on it. Like I've literally, I wanted to make sure that I'm not investing in anything that could in any way aid the machine that is responsible for this disgusting invasion. So I don't want to support Russia's machine in any way. But at the same time, I do feel really torn because I worry about Russians. I worry about what they're being told. I worry about. I don't want the world to equate Russia with this megalomaniac idiot. I worry that we are what we are taught. We are what we're brought up. I mean, we're not like I'm not a Christian child. I was raised as a Christian, and I chose not to pursue that. People are not born Christian or Muslim or Jewish or any of that kind of stuff. They are indoctrinated into whatever it is that their religious beliefs are. Though I think people would have different perspectives on it. The reality is, I would say, if we go back, I wish we lived in a world where you were just a human child, and that was it. Who cares where you came from or whatever? You're this magic little miracle that happened, and the absolutely stunning biology that made that possible should be miracle enough as far as I'm concerned. I don't think we need to add anything on top of that. I wish when we first took we first saw that photo from the moon, looking back at that little ball of blue, I thought, we're done. There's no more. That's it. That's the end of countries. That's the end of everything. Like, look, we are just on one little blue marble, and so we're all going to get along. And of course, I was so wrong. We're still carving it up, which is shocking. So, anyways, yeah, the Putin situation is crazy. I was listening to was it one of the foremost experts on Putin is this Fiona? Is it Fiona Hill? Is that right? She's advised the last three presidents on Russia, I guess, and she had a remarkable interview on the Ezra Klein show a little while back on the New York Times, where she was just asked about where we are with him and stuff, and one of the things she said was how worried she was about people saying we have to get rid of him because regime change is one of his biggest concerns. He's seen it happen in so many places. I mean, America in the past, and he sees the world as like us and him, basically, right? I mean, it's like there's this the horrible capitalists, and then there's the wonderful Russian or Russia, old Russia, that's what she certainly sort of the indication she was making. He likes to stand beside pictures by giant statues of czars and stuff. Like he's almost czarist in the way he presents himself. But the idea that we're talking about getting rid of him is worrying because it makes diplomacy difficult because he assumes that's the plan. Although I would say at this point we're past that. I don't know how he continues at this point. I don't know. Anyways, again, I am no pro on this, and these are purely my and my dog's opinions on this. So Wolf Pup, read up on your own this stuff. Make your own decisions on these things. I'm merely just spouting what I've read and what I've heard. I find it fascinating. Yeah, we can do Tech Bandits today. I might do Tech Bandits a little later if you don't mind, Wolf Pup, because I'm not sure how many people there are. There aren't a lot of Tech Bandits around because of the March break thing, but I'll pop in. I'll find some science topics. Let me grab some science topics, and we'll come in and talk with you about them in a second. I think Putin just needs to stop everything and take some vacations. Go. Was that a dig at me? You saying I should take a vacation? I should have gone with my family? Damn it. Okay. Invisible Dimensions. It is horrific. It's just, I mean, But as I said, it's also happening in a lot of other places in the world. It's one of the reasons why I. Not to belittle it in any way, obviously, but it's one of the reasons why the charity that I go to in these situations is always Doctors Without Borders, because their money goes to situations all over the world. they don't give a flying frack, who believes what and any of that stuff. They just fix people who are hurt, and they feed people who are hungry, and they house and clothe and shelter people who need it, no matter what they believe. And I think that is just a truly magnificent. I mean, I am humbled by their work is extraordinary, and I would welcome anybody who's debating what to do with this current situation. I would say please do have a look at Médecins Sans Frontières, French company, by the way. Très français. Just love them. I mean, the idea that there are doctors and healthcare professionals and logisticians, I don't know what oh God, I can't speak today at all. I can't speak any day, but even more so now. If you don't write it down in a script, I can't say it. Engineers, all sorts that make what they do happen, and they could all be earning a lot of money doing what they are now doing for free with this organization. And I have nothing but wonderful things to say about them. How is Russia getting to Ukraine? They are connected. Yes, that's the problem, Wolf Pup. So basically, Ukraine, which is a massive, again, my lack of understanding of even just the geography of these things is extraordinary. It is a massive part of the world, Ukraine. There are more people in Ukraine than there are in Canada, and and it is it's not some backwater or anything. It's a freaking, they've got these vibrant cities. They've got these amazing people and art and all sorts of stuff. So whatever we write, he reads. Yeah, pretty much. Greetings, chat. AK0565. Logisticians. That's it. Logisticians. That's it. Thank you very much, Captain Catherine, for the line reading. And thank you for the little hands of heart. AK060565. I thought it was more run down city, not a big. It's a lot of cities actually, Wolf Pup. Let me have a look. Let me find you something to look at there. Okay. Because there's just, okay. Can't escape politics. No kidding. Yeah. Okay. Tracking the invasion of Ukraine on Google. Wow. So I don't know if we can we click through this? I'll have to see. I'll pull this up in a second if I can get it to work. No, they've, of course, being a news site, they've decided they don't want to link to Google. They'll just do a freaking screenshot of it. God damn it. Come on. I really feel like, if you're going to use Google Maps, then send me a freaking link. Don't send me a picture of your... all right. Okay. This, again, a lot of the news in relation to the maps is about open source intelligence, right? Okay, come on. Tell me that you've done New York Times. At 2 New York Times? Where... Okay, well, I can't do it through Google, so I'll show you on New York Times what it looks like. That is a bit frustrating. I feel like they should be showing us the. Here we go. Okay, so here you go. That should cover me nicely. There you go. We do belong to you, New York Times. We do. Okay, so this is the map of the invasion right now. Wow. Timeline of aerial attacks by region. So you can see the 24-26 massive all over the place. Then they start to sort of get a little bit more pinpointed, and they seem to be spreading back out again now. That's not great. And then, so this is all about airstrikes. I'm wondering if it's, I see, can it, I really want to show you a map of Ukraine in the world. So let me show you. Okay, I don't want to just Ukraine. I just going to show you a map. I think that's the best way to do this. And then you can see where we're at here. Okay. So Ukraine, there we go. So just to give you a sense, there you go. So that's the world. That's Ukraine. Wolf Pup, check it out. And I think, can we zoom in? I think we can. There you go. So, I mean, look at it. And these are the two, I think, are these the two areas that have been annexed? Is that right? I don't really know. Wish I knew more about this. But you get a sense of how big that is. This is Russia, right? Isn't this Russia here? So it's just, I mean, it's a massive section. And, you know, I think the argument is that they don't want a NATO country. So they don't want a country that's friendly with the evil capitalists to the West and to Europe. They don't want it right up against their border. But, of course, the reality is that if they take over this country, they're going to have these other countries that are also going to be NATO, that already are NATO members. So they said you can't join NATO. So they didn't join NATO, and they invaded anyway. So I think there's a lot, you know, you've got a lot to answer for on this. Certainly Putin does. Again, I keep saying they. I don't want to say they. I feel bad saying they somehow. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, its history is extraordinary too. I watched a history of Russia, and is that the recent one? That's World War II. I watched a history of Russia, which was just amazing. Just, I couldn't get over. There are two things I came away with. One was that they are just not afraid to throw a lot of lives at a military operation, and they are. You know, in the past, their casualties have been extraordinary. I mean, they basically, by siding with us with the Allies in the Second World War, they helped win the war in an extraordinary way and at a huge costs of lives. But their history is tons of that. All of these wars were these massive casualties, but yet they would win. The other thing which I am kind of hopeful about as well is that, of course, it's a country of revolution, right? It's a country that the people have risen up and created new governments and taken over and kicked people out and stuff. So the hope is maybe that could happen again. But again, regime change, that's what he's worried about. So this Wolf Pup, these are the areas. This is Ukraine here. These two sort of like zigzaggy areas are places that the word on the street is that the Russians put people in, well, Putin placed people in there to say, hey, we're Russia, we want to be part of Russia, and the idea was to sort of get people upset and so they could sort of separate and become part of Russia, and then they would claim that Ukraine is stopping Russians from being who they are and all this kind of stuff. So so what they would like, of course, is the whole of Ukraine. You know, right now they're going to have a whole lot of rubble if they keep going the way it's going, and a whole lot of dead people. So it's quite a horrific situation. But there you go. That's the map. I watched History of the World, I guess, yesterday. Oh, did you? Oh, great. Well, there's a good one. I watched it was just a history of Russia, and you can even just choose sections of history that are interesting. I mean, they are a power. They were just everywhere. It's amazing. You know, and you know, Catherine the Great and Peter the Great, and there's some just extraordinarily fun, exciting sort of history in that. In fact, I believe I think if you look, I think that what is it called? The course guides, the quick course, or the what are they called? The Hank Green does one, quick histories type thing. Here in Germany, some attacked Russian stores too. So stupid. Yeah, I mean, this is how wars happen, right? It is what the English did to Northern Ireland. Exactly, James. I mean, this is the problem. Is, you know, this may get some people may not agree with me, but the fact is, America went into Iraq. You know, and so from a lot of and I don't believe NATO agreed with us when we did. You know, there's a lot of these empires do what they think is right for themselves, and that is not always the best thing for the countries that they then decide to do that to. So I am by no means equating the two, but although maybe I should be. I don't know. I mean, I am not a student of history. I am a student of science. I'm not even a student of science. I'm a fan of science. Crash course. That's it, James. Thank you, James. Let me see if I can find a crash course for. I think you'd like it, Wolf Pup. Crash course history. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Crash course YouTube. Let's have a look. They've got some fantastic things. All right, let's see. Playlist. See what they got. Playlists. See, there's Black American history, there's zoology, geography, linguistics, geography. Is there like a history of the world type thing? World mythology, U.S. government politics. Is there like a history of the world? That would be great. History of life. That's interesting. Crash course in economics, computer science. Oh, come on. There's got to be. Is there not a history? Huh. I thought there was a history one. I thought there was like a world history thing. Physical science, social science, history. Oh, is that? Oh, there's more of them. Never mind. Never mind. Take it back. Take it back. World history. There you go. Wow. Crash course. World history in Arabic. That's interesting. Big history. So there you go. So there's a bunch of stuff here. If I can click on that. There's history, and I'll put that in the list too, so people can see that. I mean, it would be nice to have a Russian history. I would say there's so much to learn, and I would love an overview of the world is obviously a great thing to have, but there's I watched a. It wasn't I gotta say it wasn't particularly exciting. But for me, it was just good because it was just sort of it droned on about the various different things that had happened, and I got a sense of it. So let's look at let's see if there's a history of Russia. All right, history of Russia. Here we go. History of Russia. Again, video. I think is that fair enough to say? That's what I watched. I watched this, an epic history. This is what I watched. I mean, you can, and if we'll put it on the background, you can listen to it a bit. You know, it's, you know, I will also sometimes just listen to things at like 1.5 speeds or 1.75 speed, so that I can get a sense of it without taking up too much of my time. But that's what I watched to get a sense of Russian history. But it is not. Oh, I'll do that on the weekend. I can't watch YouTube right now. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, you can't watch it right now because of school, or because what's the deal on that? I'm only on because you're on. Oh, really? Is that right? I should come in and say hi. Discord. No, don't switch. Thank you. Do you want to go and see? That's the community site. Let's get in there. Let me just do my little. Turn this on so I could hear Wolf Pup as he talks. Wolf Pup.
Hello?
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. 1 second. Your mic is cutting out. I need to turn up your volume.
My mic is cutting out.
Yeah, my Discord is being annoying, and it always keeps resetting my, like, just one.
It does. It loves to reset the mic, doesn't it?
It didn't reset my mic. It just so I had to put your thing back up to 200.
Oh, really? People have to tell me if you're too low or too high. Can people hear Wolf Pup okay? Let me know if you can't. I'll boost. I'll give him a boost. Bite me! I'm Klingon 69. I watched Hulu's The Great. It is that shows the reason why my dog is called Huzzah. I freaking loved that show. What are you breathing into the microphone, Wolf Pup? What are you like doing heavy breathing in the mic?
Oh, it reset my noise suppression also.
Oh.
Sorry.
You're like this.
It's
like I've got Darth Vader on the chat with me.
Yeah, just me breathing, it makes that noise into my mic, even though it's not.
Do you have a pop filter? You need to put a pop filter up. I don't have one, but you're supposed to have like a piece of fabric thing or something that goes in front of it. Darth Vader with a cold. Yeah, it's true.
I did one mistake, but then I decided I'm gonna do an unmistake, cause I had.
Sorry, an unmistake?
Yes.
You know what, Wolf Pup? If you need a word, you just make it up, buddy.
That's what I do. Cause Pokemon Legends Arceus, I bought that, but I shouldn't have. I should have bought a different headphone. Because these headphones are slowly but surely going out.
Are they dying a miserable death?
Yeah, like, do you know how a while ago I said that they would go really bass boosted once in a while?
Yeah.
That is really coming up again.
Now, do you have an RTX? World Productions asking if RTX voice will fix it.
RTX voice will fix this. I just don't know how to get RTX voice. Like, I have a NVIDIA account. I don't think I was supposed to make one.
Do you have what do you know what GPU you're using?
Yeah, 1080 Ti.
Right. So that uses does that have the noise canceling on it as well?
I don't know. but I don't really want to put it on if it like slows it down,
Oh,
because
I see. Yeah. That's a good
I
point.
can just use Discord's noise suppression because that takes up CPU and not
Um,
the.
does anyone know World Production? Do you know if RTX Voice can work on the 1080 without slowing things down? Someone will tell you, I'm sure. Some nerd will know. Not me. Not this nerd. So what? Oh, there was an article apparently on how to talk to people about. What is your take on the whole Ukraine situation? Have you because you were quite nervous about it to start.
Yeah, but I've started watching more stuff, and I'm still like really nervous about it
Hmm.
because it's happening right now. Because
Hmm.
like basically what I keep saying to my dad when we watch it is it's scary because it's happening right now,
Hmm.
and like with the when Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure it was Afghanistan,
Hmm.
got invaded by the Taliban, it
Hmm.
wasn't as shown as this.
It wasn't as yeah. It's weird. It hasn't been as. It's true. There's a lot of things that haven't been. I mean, also Congo. There's some horrible wars in Congo. The Republic of, was it Republic of Congo? I mean, there's been a lot of stuff. It is true. I think it's because it's so. I guess
It's
because
so
it.
shown, and it's a big
Mm,
area like Russia and Ukraine. Like
mm,
Russia is so people are like putting a lot of stuff about it, and it's just
mm.
overall it like hurts my head thinking about
I think it
how
hurts
he's
everyone's
doing
head.
this.
I don't think you're alone on that one. I don't think it doesn't matter how old you are. I think you've got it's going to hurt your head, and your heart sometimes. Some of those images are just horrific, aren't they? I mean, um, it's weird watching buildings
Like
blow up, isn't
I
it?
don't watch anything about like I don't like watch any of the like really bad things, but like
Mm,
I saw a video of just it was on the news, and it was
mm,
just like you watched the explosion but you didn't see the aftermath because someone
mm.
was near the explosion,
Yeah, yeah.
and like my jaw dropped.
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean, you see it
'Cause
in games all the time, and then all of a sudden you go like, "Oh my God, that's a building full of people!" Like, or that was
like
someone's home and stuff. It's kind of
it's hard to think of it like that way because like I'm not gonna lie, I have felt bad playing games like Call of Duty because it's like set
oh
in Russia,
really?
and yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So they're set in Russia, and what is the fight? What is the battle that you're battling in the games?
I don't really know. You're just because
Hmm.
basically
Are you
I
battling the Russians, or are you Russian?
both.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
Like
Um.
you can be Russian fighting someone else, but it's basically the game chooses.
Hmm.
Like I've started to like I haven't played that in a while because I feel bad because like
Because it's
that's
really
happening
happening.
in real life type thing.
This is what happens as you get older. You sound like an old man now because I found before Baz was born, I used to watch all these movies about people getting murdered and killed in all these sort of horrific ways and playing violent games and all this kind of stuff.
Like
Um,
I still play violent games, but I just start feeling weird after like when I start thinking about it
that's
cuz
good. It's
like
empathy. It's good. It's good. You should
when I
have that.
play games, I'm just like, yeah, I'm killing fake things.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
then
it's
when
sort of
I
easier
start
to
to
kill
think
aliens, isn't it?
I'm killing fake people, I
Hmm.
don't have to worry about that. But then when
Hmm.
I start thinking that this is happening right now, it's just scary.
Hmm. Yeah, it's important. I think it's important to think about it though a little bit, don't you? I mean, like it's just because you don't want to be. I don't know, because on the off chance something might come up that you might be able to do. You might be able to help. You might be able to do something. I know Baz has been talking his friends down because they've all been really worried about nuclear weapons. And
Yeah,
I
all like what I keep telling myself is if they come after us, they're gonna get attacked by NATO. Cause
well in America
yeah,
too, right? Yeah.
if they attack us, they're already having trouble with Ukraine. They don't have any really backup.
Mm. No, I mean
So
well, and
if they try
also
going after us, they're gonna have like the rest of Europe, NATO,
mm,
America coming in to help.
mm. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I think we're. I mean, one of the things that I think is important is I feel like it's so many times you can concentrate on other places. It's so easy to sort of get caught up in other people's problems and not I mean, what we can do here is make sure stuff like that doesn't happen here, right? I mean, Canada, everyone's always like, oh, Canada, nothing bad ever happens in Canada. We're all, we all love each other and we love maple syrup and donuts.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's what everybody thinks of Canada.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, go ahead.
Like, I've seen a ton of memes where it's just like what people think Canada is, everybody being nice, but it's actually really just people being rude, but quieter.
There's a joke about lobsters going across the border. You heard this one? Did I tell you this one already?
I don't know.
Well, it's like there's a border guard, and this crate of lobsters comes across the border, and it's all sealed up, and it says U.S. on it, and so they wave it through. It's fine. The next one comes through, and it's a box of lobsters, but there's no top on it, and it says Canada on it. And he's like, what the hell? Why isn't there a top on those lobsters? And the guy said, oh, it's okay. They're Canadian lobsters. If anyone tries to get out, the other ones will just drag them back in again. So basically, there's no getting out. I think that, but Canada, again, I think the thing with Canada is you want to make sure you vote. You want to make sure you know what's going on, right? So that you can, I mean, you don't have to know everything that's going on, but you want to make sure that your country is doing everything it can, that you're letting your country know. I mean, it's not our politicians' jobs to do what they think they should do with things. It's their job to do what we as a group of people want them to do, right? And I think it's important to make sure that we don't ever let the people in control become, too power hungry or too powerful or too, like what happens if, what if Justin Trudeau suddenly decides he doesn't want to, he wants to get elected again, and just keep getting elected.
He can't do that.
Well, but how long? Do you know how long Putin's been in power?
But yeah, that's because they are I'm pretty sure it's capitalists.
Well, I think we're capitalists closer to.
No, that's because they're communists. I don't know why I said capitalists.
Are they communist anymore? I don't think they are. Are they? Are they?
I'm pretty sure they are because that's a part of communism. The person just stays in power until they die, but then. It's just they stay in power until they die.
Well, that's funny. I think the thing about Putin is that he basically started changing the rules so that he could keep getting back into power. He's been in power for 22 years now, right?
Yes, but
that's basically a dictator at that point, isn't it?
Trudeau can't really do that because it's just how it goes.
Well, technically, he can't. But he can try.
Technically, he can try.
I'm not saying that he would, by the way. I don't think he would.
Yeah.
But
I don't think he would either, but I'm just saying.
But let's say we got a type of Putin who ended up getting somehow voted in here. It's not impossible for it to happen. And once they've got power here, I mean, Canada, there's this, the Prime Minister has a lot of power in Canada, right? Hello, Gothic 18. Welcome. Gothic 18. All right, they like to pretend they were communist. Yes, they used to be. They called themselves communists, didn't they? I mean, the problem with their form of communism was that it wasn't. It just wasn't. There's still people in control, right? There's still some people who are in charge of deciding who's equal and who's not, and all that kind of stuff. Do you ever read? Do you ever read a book called Animal Farm, Wolf Pup?
No.
Oh. You should talk to your dad about that. See if you can read. It's George Orwell. Is that right, George Orwell? And it's quite a short little book, but it's basically like a political story, but all done with farm animals. But it's really creepy. It's also it's also fantastic. There's a short film that was made of it.
How is it creepy?
Oh, because the pigs take over.
The pigs
take over. There's this wonderful scene where the animals rise up against the farmer because the farmer's evil, and they take over, and they say, "That's it. We're all going to be, now that we've taken over. There's no one person's going to control us, and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. The pigs will look after us and make sure that we're all happy and looked after, and everyone's equal." And then as the pigs get more and more greedy and more in control and more power, they start doing things to take. Oh. It's real. I think you'd like it. It's a great book, I got to say. You know,
It
I wonder if it's.
sounds interesting.
We should
I
do like a
don't know.
live read of it sometime. I should just like read. I should read it.
I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
Oh, would you get in trouble for that? I guess there's copyright issues, aren't there? But Animal Farm, it's fantastic. Oh my god, I read it to Baz probably maybe 5-6 years ago, and he really enjoyed it.
I could basically see you reading a creepy bed before.
Oh yeah, of course. 1984 is another one.
A
I actually
creepy
want to
book
read
before
1984.
bed.
I want to read that again because that's another book that I found just really just crazy prescient. That's about basically a society where you're just being watched all the time, and you're not allowed to think for yourself. You're not allowed to do what you want. Everything. Oh, it's that is a creepy book. Yeah, 1984 resounded with me an awful lot too. But I read, just because I read Animal Farm again recently, it really just struck me. It was just like, wow, it's just so well written, and I remember the animated film. I wonder if it may even be available. You may even check, if you check YouTube, it might be available for someone may have pirated it or something. But
I'm pretty sure it's not pirating if it's over like 20 years old.
is that right? It's out of copyright or whatever? Animal
Yeah.
Farm. Nope. Looking. Oh, there you go. Georgia, it's a 1954 animation. Whoa. Dude. Yes, you'll find it. It is, in fact, on YouTube, and it's illegally pirated. But, I would not recommend you watch it, but go ahead.
I don't think it's illegal if it, like, how old is the movie?
Well, 1954. What does that make it?
That is definitely not illegally. That's 50 years.
And then, so what's this? So no one owns it anymore?
I don't think so.
It's pretty sad.
Someone in chat said it's 95 years.
95 years old. Wow.
No, for the copyright to end.
Oh, is that right? I mean, it may be too old for you. Like it may just seem too dated for you. But it's just the animation is like, I don't know if I could share this, just a quick image with you so you can see what it looks like at least. Because it's there you go. Okay. So it's like the pigs. I remember the pigs were just so cool. And then of course they take over. Basically the pigs become like Nazis. It's like or like evil greedy communist types or whatever. I mean it's just extraordinary. So maybe, but honestly, the book is just so much better. Sorry, the film is fantastic, but the book just goes into it. Just fantastic. Anyways, I watched that. That's so funny, Jonathan LH, that we did too. We watched that film on film. They actually brought a reel of film in and put it through a projector, and we watched it at school. You know what I mean? Copyright for images is 100 years. Yeah. Orwell died in 1950, so 3 more years until it's free use. Oh, there you go. So wait 3 more years, then you can watch it.
Well, I don't think it's illegal if it's on.
No, you're fine. You're
YouTube.
fine. I'm sure no one would mind.
No, I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure if it's on YouTube, it's the person who made the video's fault.
Not sure about the film though, as it is a different work and probably under a different copyright time. Yeah, there's a good chance that if the ownership is passed on to different people. Anyways, point being is there are evil ways of finding things that you're not supposed to watch. But it's a really interesting story. I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on it, because it really is about the rise of. It's just about how, even with the best of intentions, sometimes even good people can be turned bad by access to power and stuff. And I just imagine that after 22 years in power, Putin's got to be, no one's saying no to him, I'll bet, right? Thought crimes. Oh yeah, Captain Catherine. Thought crimes were terrifying. The idea was that basically you were living in a society where you'd almost report yourself for thinking things. That's 1984. It's pretty wild. Movie Lad accidentally bought a pirated copy of a film, reported it to the authorities, and nobody cared. Well, that's good of you for trying, Movie Lad. I do not want anyone reading my mind. Exactly. That's why we're all going to get those.
How did you tell it was copyrighted, though?
You mean that it was pirated?
Yeah, how did
Yeah,
he
I mean,
figure that out?
sometimes it's just you can just tell, just things don't look right, or there's a like a watermark on it, or this often thing. Oh, the one the shipwrecked. Oh, Gopher Fluffernut. That's another fantastic one which I read, Baz, which was Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies was fantastic. Yeah. Disoli. Hey, thank you. First time chat and coming in with info. That's great. Appreciate it. Disoil. Disoli. Well, anyways, welcome. Welcome, and thank you for bringing Lord of the Flies with you. That was one of my favorite books of all time is Lord of the Flies. Absolutely just love it. It's one of the reasons why I quite like that Yellow Jackets series is that there's a certain Lord of the Flies quality to that as well. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Very true. Dr. Quest MD. Camcorder in a cinema. People walking in front of the screen. Oh, is really that? Yeah, that's how you'd know. That's how you'd know it's a pirate for sure. Need a classical education, then you get my name. I do need a classical education. What does it stand for? Ender's Game? Ender's Game was pretty great too. I must say, I love that as a book. I didn't like his politics, but crime think. So much crime think in this chat. It's so true. I'll tell you, that was a good film as well. There's a good film of 1984 if you want to see that as well.
I just got like kick joined. Did you hear what I just said?
What did you say?
What is crime think?
Oh, it's again. This is part of this 1984 thing. So another book by the same guy who did this Animal Farm book. He did a book called 1984, which is this really. It's quoted all of the time when governments go bad, basically. And it's this, but it's an idea of like it's a world that is held completely under control by this very secretive government.
Organized.
Big Brother. When they say Big Brother is watching you, have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay, that Big Brother is a character in 1984, and the idea is that he's on these screens that watch you all the time, that listen to you all the time. You have to keep you have to. Basically, you have to suppress any thoughts you have that might be against anything that he says is true and his government says is true. And it's just, it is really cool, though.
Basically, you can't think that he's lying and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And it's
but
very...
How did they get into your mind? You didn't really explain that.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you because you got to read it. They torture people. They're there's this horrific scene where they put hungry rats on his face in a little cage, so the rats have only one place to go, and that's towards your eyes, right? And they keep them very hungry, so they'll torture people and the idea being that they break people down, they brainwash them to such an extent that eventually they're trying to, it's basically how it takes a guy who has a certain freedom of thought at the beginning of the book, and it just shows how he is, how he is sort of basically brainwashed throughout it. It's a really interesting book. I mean, just absolutely, horrific. All right. Cube. Yeah, Cube was pretty dystopian as well. Does anyone... Okay, so did we find out how to say Disoli?
I'm pretty sure you were in that one.
I'm pretty sure I was too. Yeah. Not the new one though, unfortunately. God, I'd love to have been in the new one too. That would be great. Okay, where do we say Watership Down? Oh, that was another creepy animated series of film too. Ugh. I never read that though. I started reading that. I never got into it. But Watership Down wasn't Orson Welles as well. Orson Welles. That wasn't George Orwell as well, was it? Are you doing fiscal fan mail? What's that? What's fiscal fan mail? It's like an indoctrination. Totalitarianism. Yeah, I gasped just hearing that. Look up Newspeak words glossary. You will understand it a little better. Is that right? Newspeak. Let's look it up. Let's look up Newspeak. It's a term from the book, though, isn't it? I thought. Am I mistaken? I have been mistaken before. I know Wolfbuck couldn't believe it, but it's true. I know. Apparently, I'm not infallible. Newspeak is the fictional language of Oceania. Yes, Oceania. A totalitarian superstate that is the setting of the 1949 dystopian novel 1984 by George Orwell. In the novel, the party created newspeak to meet the ideological requirements of INGSOC, English Socialism in Oceania. There you go. What does it say here? It says, don't you see that the whole aim of newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible because there will be no words in which to express it. So it reminds me of a thing. Let me get that up so you can see that. That's a little quote that we were looking at there. So I looked at, first I went to, of course, to Newspeak on Wikipedia. And then I went here because I thought that was just a great quote there. So what this always makes me think of is North Korea, where you're not allowed to, you don't love your parents and your kids because that word is reserved for the supreme leader. So you can and again, maybe this is just propaganda from the West, but the sense I got was that you just didn't say things like "I love you" to your kids because that was something you would only say about the man who was in control of the country. The other thing is people were asked what their favorite color was, and their favorite color, of course, was red, because red was the color of the party. Right? Isn't that wild? So that people are basically brainwashed into believing that their favorite color, of course, everyone's favorite color is red because red is the color of the party, right? Isn't that wild?
That is very... Wait, is that still happening right now, or is it...
Yeah, absolutely. And I would even argue,
wow.
I would argue this as well, that we've got to be careful because that's stuff that can happen here as well, right? People start changing the meaning of words. People start, I know I've come down on Baz and some of the tech bandits sometimes about memes. I worry about memes because sometimes memes are a way of changing, it's not so bad. Like, I think we talked about this about the Nazis. There was like pictures of marching Nazis or something in a meme. And I was like, we don't want to normalize. You don't want people to go like, it's just a bunch of Nazis running around. Who cares? You need to be going like, that's a bunch of Nazis. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you don't want to make them normal. You don't want to make it normal. You don't want to push the right so far to the right that the middle is no longer the middle. You know what I mean? I think we do have to be careful for sure. QAnon. Yeah, QAnon is interesting because that's basically people almost brainwash themselves with this stuff, right? You must like. Do you like the idea of conspiracy theories, Wolfpup? I love it.
That's a really weird thing to say, but yeah.
I love them. I think they're just fascinating about how people don't you. I think it's amazing how people come up with their own type of reality, right? I mean, imagine being able to just make up. I mean, I guess it's like a cult, really, isn't it? I mean, it's like Scientology or Christianity. I mean, to some extent, I would argue that religions are the same kind of thing, where you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, and it's who does that serve best? Again, my opinion. You're welcome to have your own.
I just want to say another thing I like is I mainly watch like video game conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, like you mean like game theory and stuff?
Yeah.
I love.
I've been watching him a lot lately. I don't know
He's
why.
got some really neat stuff. He is a smart guy.
A while ago, he got scammed for 1.7 million.
I know, isn't that crazy? He was like almost crying on that video too. He was so upset. He was like so angry. Didn't you find that? Like, I just thought he was like But could you imagine? I think that's actually Barnacules was talking about this thing, this Streamlabs thing, saying that there was some kind of
there
a
was
thing.
Something I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it is now.
Let me see. Fan theories, LOLs, those are fun. Well, that's it, Powered by ZPMs. I mean, but that's fun though, because that's like fan fiction and stuff. I read a really interesting TED Talk. I watched a really interesting TED Talk. Listened to a really good TED Talk about a woman who was using fan fiction as a way to get kids into writing, because it sort of makes sense. Like, why not? If you want to write, why don't you write like okay, Wolfpup, what's your favorite kind of world? Your favorite like imaginary world, whether it's a game or a movie or whatever. Do you have one?
Probably like something like the Elden Ring.
Oh, like Elden Ring. Okay, so imagine as an English project, you get asked to write a story about Elden Ring or a character in Elden Ring or something. Like, how cool would that be?
I would just play the game and be like, yes.
Well, yeah, you could play the game and then write out what happened as the story, even. But I mean, the point being is that it's something that's of interest to you, right? So wouldn't you much rather be writing about that than writing about some boring Francois came to Quebec when he was only 14. His best friend,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just these terrible French projects that Baz gets where he's asked to translate the dullest stories about people like, about visitors from, my cousin came yesterday and we had chicken for dinner. That's exciting. You could be like in Elden Rings, the multi-armed, what was his name? Who's the multi-armed one? I like them.
Uh, Most people have two arms.
No, oh, that's true. Thank you, Wolf Pup. Damn your sarcasm. No, there was like one that has like numerous
Uh,
arms.
I think you're thinking of Godric, because he has
Is
like a
Godric? Yeah.
bunch of. Yeah, he has like a bunch of arms coming off of him.
And then
Of like
Godric
people.
can rip off his own arm and then add like a dragon head to it or something, can he?
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, there you go. But good one. I got to say,
And
you burned me really good on that, Wolf Pup. If I had like, if I had Tech Bandit currency, I would give you that. I would give you money for that because that was good. Hey, that's an interesting question. All right, Wolf Pup. One of the things I've been doing while my wife and my child have been away, other than just sobbing in a small, in a huddled mass in my room with a dog, is I'm taking a course on blockchain programming, which is really very complicated, but I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. So far, I created my own little blockchain. I mean, just a little test blockchain. I didn't create my own, but I ran my own little like local blockchain, and I wrote a little piece of code, like a little contract that you can request from it, and it will say "Hello Hewlett," and that's it. That's all it does. It's like a Hello World program, and the idea of a Hello World program is just. I think you probably did. Did you do this in Scratch? Did you do a Hello World program in Scratch?
no.
Okay, well, the idea is basically how to write that is the simplest program you can write in any language. And the idea is to teach you how to use the language and all of the development tools and all that kind of stuff. So I
I
set
feel
up
like
a,
the easiest thing to do would just be to make it say a letter instead of a full sentence.
right. But if you can figure out how to do a letter, you could
You can figure
probably
out how
do
to
a
do
sentence. Although I
multiple
guess with C or
letters.
something, it could be harder. But I mean, but yes, I get, okay, I see what you're saying. So they could be simpler, but I guess I shouldn't say maybe it's the simplest. It's like the standard. The standard first program is called a Hello World program. And I am such a nerd that I cannot write Hello World. I have to make it say something else because I want to make it my own. So I did this I set up it's an Ethereum virtual what is it? It's the Ethereum virtual machine, I guess. So I'm basically a little node on the Ethereum network. I don't run it on the actual Ethereum network because it would cost me money. I have a little test network that I run it on. And then you run this thing and it adds the blocks to the chain and then it's really interesting. But I started thinking about like what I could do that would be like a fun project that we could do that would relate to the Tech Bandits. I thought, well, we should create like our own little Tech Bandits what if we create our own little Tech Bandits cryptocurrency so that like when you burn me like that, when you go, most people have multiple hands, and everyone laughs. I would go, oh, okay, you know what? I'll give you a Tech Bandit doubloon or something, right? Or that when you come up with a really good story, I go, that story is so good, I'm going to give you 5 Tech Bandit. Would that be kind of fun? Like to have like a Tech Bandits currency, and then maybe you could trade it in for something later or something like like I don't know, whatever. We'll figure out. I could figure out some prizes or something. But wouldn't that be kind of fun to have our own little like Tech Bandits currency that we could just like reward people for like, or like Elsa. Elsa gets Elsa placed in her in her skating competitions. Let's give her for that. She should get like 10 Tech Bandit coins or something. Wouldn't that be neat? I mean, I guess you could do NFTs, I suppose. But I just like the idea of having our own currency. Wouldn't that be neat? And then you never know, like what happens. Like, what if in like 10 years' time it's actually worth a little bit of money, and then you can sell some of it and buy yourself a car or something. Did I lose you? Did I talk so long that my headphones went off?
Oh yeah, they did.
I could
I
maybe
was wondering why I didn't hear noise.
Oh, Aquatic Alice works in crypto. There you go. Oh, that's interesting. Well, thank you, Aquatic Alice. What do you do in crypto? I'm actually going to talk to a guy, I think a week Wednesday. A week tomorrow, I'm going to, with one of the salty nerds, I'm talking to, well, I'm not talking to, but I'll be on the podcast with, what is his name? Crypto Stash. His name is Crypto Stash. Is that right? I think that's his name. He's kind of a fun guy who's really interested in this stuff. Let me see if I can find Crypto Stash. I have no idea if, I don't know enough about any of this stuff. Oh, there you go. This is the guy right here. Look, check out his mustache. He's got an amazing mustache. I'm kind of jealous. I'm jealous of his stash. Here you go. Let me put it in here. There you go. Crypto Stash. There's our guy right there. So this is, can I show you this? I can show you this page too, can't I? Here we go. Go to there, make that viewable.
I was thinking of this at school during math because we're doing something that I do not see how it can be really used in life.
Oh, really? What is it?
Drawing circles.
Drawing circles? What do you mean?
That's what we're doing in math. We're using a compass and just drawing circles.
When are you ever going to do that? Well, I guess if you know what, woodworking. If you're doing woodworking, that would help.
Yeah, but
that does seem like
that should be more of a tech thing, because the main part that I don't like is the teacher.
You like the teacher?
No, I don't like the teacher.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
I like the tech teacher.
Well, then you should.
Tech.
Let me see if I've still got it here. I have some tools here. Hang on a second. There you go. This is what you need. So Alan, as a present, gave me this. This is called the iris. And the iris, you'll love this. This is how you should be drawing circles. There we go. Check this out. See, there you go. Maybe if we had TechBandits coins. Look at this.
Basically, we're having a test where all it is just drawing a circle and making it different sizes, which to me seems really dumb.
Well, this is a little device that you can open and close the iris and get a circle of whatever size you want.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense though,
doesn't it?
To use a tool like that.
Yeah.
Because like the compasses, you have to like turn it, like get it up to a certain thing. But with that,
used to drive me crazy. That stuff, and I would get obsessive.
Use that, measure it.
Yeah, this is
and
really
it's
cool.
Like perfect.
Oh, I did not make that. No. This is this wonderful little present that was given to me by Alan Malventano, called the Iris. Is that right? The Iris. It's a drawing compass. It's just so basically it's the same. It's kind of what you're using. It's just a different way of doing what you're doing. You should show your math teacher this actually, because they probably get a kick out of it. I wonder how much they are.
I don't feel like the math teacher would even care to see that.
Damn it!
Because she's one of the teachers who just basically says, "Here, look at this math book. Now I'm gonna go
open your books to page 5."
No, she doesn't even share that. She
really?
writes it on the board. She just writes it on the board where we're supposed to go.
It sucks. I know it totally looks like the iris on the Stargate. Well, it's an iris, but we had an iris too. So, math. What is the best? Oh, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have?
No, I don't have it anymore. I have an Android.
Oh, do you? Okay, well, it might work on Android too. I don't know, but it's called. Gosh.
Oh wait, someone asked something in chat, and I need to say yes to it.
What do you got?
Jonathan MLH asked if I'm using a compass to draw perpendicular lines.
Are you?
But basically, the teacher's saying it's supposed to be fun, but then she says, if you don't finish the project, you don't get to go out for recess.
So you will have fun. There you go. That sounds like 1984. You will have fun. Okay. All right. What do we got? Let me see if I can find it.
It's supposed to be for fun, but how the teacher is teaching it is making it very not fun.
Dude, you have to check this out. This is an app called Photomath. See if you can get it for the Android. It's Photomath. You take a picture of the equation, and it'll walk you through how to solve it.
Oh, what?
Yeah. It's called Photomath. Let me see if I can find it online for you. It's amazing. As long as you promise not to cheat. Photomath. Photomath.
Do they make you have to? Do they make you have to like sign a thing that says I will not use Photolab to cheat?
Oh, it's available on Google Play as well. There you go. So this is you know what? Look, I believe in this. I believe if there's technology to help you do things and it's going to teach you how to do it, then you should use it. So I put a link in the chat. But this is so you take a photo of the equation, and it will actually give you an answer and tell you how it's done. I think the most important part is how it's done, because you can never, you know what I mean? Like you can give them you can give them an answer, and the math teacher will still fail you because you didn't show them how you got to that answer. This will actually show you how to get.
That was really hard on the online
Mm,
school because I just think of it a different way because
mm.
like how I did it in online school, I would just like
Oop,
go for division.
what is
I
this?
could see it on the paper and I could like write the numbers down because I don't have good hand-eye coordination.
Oh no.
But like in math, I can't use my Chromebook because I bring a Chromebook to school so I can write. But in math, I can't use the Chromebook because they're gonna think I'm cheating.
Right. That was Baz's issue as well. They were like, you can't use. They're like, well, they were saying like you have to use. You're not allowed to use Google Translate, but you're allowed to use a French English dictionary online. I was like, what? Like it's the same thing. I mean, anyways.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
doesn't
quick. I've got an update
make
from Gimpy G. Gimpy G cannot make the stream today because things are really hectic here. Oh no. Oh, he's got a whole bunch of. He's got boring administrative stuff, crazy stuff. Well, Gimpy G, if you can hear us, good luck. Good luck with good luck with the state. We could tell us all about 1984 like experience when next we speak. And I will remind everyone, Gimpy G. I think I could do a thing here, which will remind everyone to go let give Gimpy G a hand. Is that right? That didn't work. Okay, is it just Gimpy?
Yeah, it's just Gimpy.
Is it? Okay, great. Okay, so there you go. So Gimpy G, good friend of ours, he is still struggling with everything because, you know, I mean, again, just imagine everything that you had set up exactly the way you needed to work within the limitations that you have, and basically remove those limitations. Imagine all of those literally going up in fire, in flames, so go, if you got a couple of bucks that's not being spent on, you know, Doctors Without Borders or something, then please go give him a hand, or maybe just see if there's any things there that he might have that you might have kicking around.
I've wondered this for a while, but I haven't searched it up. What is Doctors Without Borders?
Ah, Médecins Sans Frontières. It's a French group. So basically, what they do is they organize doctors to go out to war zones or to, you know, when there's like or to either war zones or any natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, tsunamis, you know, anywhere there is people's lives are in peril. They will go, and they don't care what religion you are or what side you're on. They will patch up people if they are hurt, and they will get them food if they are starving. They did a lot of work. In Africa during famines. There, they actually came up with a special food. It was called plumpy nut. I think it was plumpy nut. They invented these little packages. Because what they discovered was that when you get really, really bad malnutrition, when you haven't eaten, you don't want to eat. You feel so horrible that you don't want to eat. Isn't that weird? Like your stomach swells. So they're trying to get these kids to eat stuff, and they just couldn't get them to even have the energy to do that. So they came up with these little packages of peanut butter. So they're basically peanut butter mixed with a lot of vitamins and minerals and the things that they need to keep them alive. And of course, the kids just couldn't stop because they're like, woohoo, this is amazing. Like, it's like a lovely, sugary, nutty treat. And so the kids would just suck this stuff back. And of course, it would help them immensely with keeping them alive. So they are a group that basically responds to any life-threatening situation around the world. And what I love about it is it's all volunteer doctors and medics and people who can help people. And as I say, like, these are doctors that could be in the States earning millions of dollars a year doing like plastic surgery or something. Instead, they're in a war zone where people are getting blown up, and they're, you know, sewing them back up and fixing wounds that wouldn't be fixed otherwise. And that's why I love them. Putting humans first. I love that. So there you go. Xeno 676 has just won 2 from the slots. We got to figure this coin thing out. So we're going to talk to Aquatic. We have to talk to Aquatic Alice about that. Community manager, tech support for various blockchains in the Cosmos ecosystem. Oh, is this where? Is this what you're working on, Aquatic Alice? If I click there, will it cause terrible problems? Let's see what happens when I do this. Oh, no, I don't want a Yubikey again. Are you kidding me? Buzz off. Why is it asking me for Yubikey again? Okay, let's have a look at this. Can I open this in another window? Can I cut and paste it? Why won't you let me do anything, you wretched thing? Extraordinary. Extraordinarily difficult. Why is it being so difficult? What if I do this? Okay, do this. I'm going to cut and paste it. Copy it, and I'm going to paste it. I feel bad that Gimpy G can't join us. I just sort of assumed he would come by. The Internet of Blockchains. Cosmos is an ever-expanding ecosystem of interconnected apps and services built for a decentralized future. Well, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, so that's, I guess, is that where you're working? Aquatic Alice? Is that right? And Starport. What's that? That sounds interesting too. All sorts of fun things. I mean, it's such a weird space because I feel like one of the reasons why I started doing it myself was I wanted to understand everything. I want to understand everything about it because blockchain is such a mystery to me, and there's so many charlatans and there's so many, people just look like they're just trying to rip people off. So I'm very, very obviously I don't want tech bandits associated with it with any kind of hanky-panky terrible stuff online. So, naughty stuff online happening. I don't want that. I don't want any crime syndicates being formed out of the tech bandits. But I thought, maybe we could sell my tech bandits coins and issue a few whatever it would be. We got to come up with a good name. What would a tech bandit coin be called? Wolf Pup, what do you think?
Tech coin? Or
what's it called?
Bandit Bucks.
Bandit Bucks. Oh, that's good. Bandit Bucks. Woo. Bandit Bucks. Just like that. Bandit Bucks. One word. Bandit Bucks.
Yeah.
Or you go bandit and then do like BUX.
No, just like.
You're like, no. Stop trying to be cool. Stop trying to be cool, Dave. It's just not working at all. Your coolness is not working at all. That is really good, actually. Bandit Bucks. Raccoins. Raccoins is pretty good, too. Like, instead of raccoons, raccoins.
Yeah.
I like Bandit Bucks.
And someone said BBX as the acronym for Bandit Bucks.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's spelled Bandit BUCKS, not
Bandloons. Sorry, Meclan. I was McCoins. McCoins. I sound like the McDonald's coins. I think the BBX is pretty great. BBX is a great name. Do you have to register that stuff? I mean, do you have to do that sort of thing?
I don't know. I'm not an expert on.
Well, maybe I can ask the Crypto Stash guy how that works. Or I guess I could also ask the fabulous was Alice, Aquatic Alice.
Wait, who is Aquatic Alice? I don't know.
Oh, sorry, Aquatic Alice is in the chat, and she, I'm assuming she just because of the Alice part, but they work for or work with a company that supports blockchains in a thing called the Cosmos ecosystem. I don't know what that is, but yeah, it sounds kind of neat actually. So your project deserves its own blockchain. Starport provides all of the tools you need to easily build, launch, and run any decentralized app on its own independent blockchain. Huh. Okay. Wow. Okay. Is it like a development platform? Hey, wait a second. There's someone called Alice in the picture. Is that Alice? Is that your wallet that they're showing? Alice, I think your wallet is showing.
Wait, what is happening?
Well, sorry, I should show you the page. So I'm on this page, and the first so when I was scrolling through,
We need the password. They can't just get into the.
oh no
They would need the
no, it's not there. All I'm saying is so there's this thing called Starport, which I guess is one of their services where you can create your own
I think
blockchain.
the only thing you can do with someone's like code is they can give you money, but they can't
Oh, that's
take your.
true. Yeah, I guess that's true because it's your public address, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody can see that.
Well, I don't think there's anything showing there anyways, but there's I just thought it was kind of funny that as an example of the image of what I guess it looks like in action,
I
there's
wonder
this
who would get
one
the
called
money if you
Alice.
send it to there.
I wonder. Well, I don't think there is I don't see a. Let me see. I don't see an address on it anywhere. Yeah, I don't see a. It's not viewing. It's not you. It's basically just a. So we're looking at. I guess they're looking at a local host wallet. So I guess that's just a separate. I don't know how any of this stuff works, but anyways, that's what I was looking at. Anyways, where are we going? So man, what I wouldn't give to try and mine one of those on an M1 Ultra Max Studio with a 64 core GPU. Have you seen the new Macs? Have you seen those yet? I'm looking here. Okay, let me see. Let me have a look. Let me have a look and see what this Apple thing, the new Apple stuff, is pretty beautiful, I gotta say.
Someone is trying to bomb you in the chat.
Trying to bomb me.
Someone the exclamation mark bomb.
Good luck. I don't even know how to use those things. So Xenos, of course, Xenos. So all right, let's see what the deal is here. Let me show you this. Okay, so this is the new iPhone. I don't really care about, to be honest. But what else are they going to show us? They're going to show this the iPhone again. Still the iPhone. Still the iPhone. Still the iPhone. Still the iPhone. Yeah, iPhone. Now I kind of want a new iPhone. What do we got here? Nope. They're still on the iPhone. I want to see. Okay, what else we got? I don't want just the iPhone. I want to see Apple. Let's see. I want to see what else they've got for us. Okay, so the Mac. They've got some new Macs. This is the new Mac Studio. $2,000 US. I'm
Just
guessing.
for the Mac. Oh.
That's no monitor. But let's learn some more about it, shall we? It's called an Empower Station. Stunningly compact, extensive connectivity, outrageous performance. Ready to dive in? Oh yeah. So lots of little USB ports. Nice. I'm assuming gigabit Ethernet. Couple of USB ports, HDMI, headphone jack. I don't know. I feel like I've been here before and got screwed over. Choose your superpower: an M1 Max or an M1 Ultra. Oh, this is okay. So this is what I heard. I heard that they can now basically they take their M1s and they stack them, and they could stack them because they communicate incredibly quickly. The bus is incredibly fast, so you could basically. Eventually, you'll just be able to stack up these M1s and have these like mega super duper computer things. That's the technical term. Yeah, these look kind of beautiful. I gotta say. I'm sure James Gurney has something to say about it. M1 Ultra. Wow, they got some beautiful animations. So CPU performance. The Mac Studio with M1 Ultra is 5.3 times faster than what? Than the Max. Really? Wow. 2.2 times faster than an Intel Xeon. Wow. Okay. All right. GPU performance. Mac Studio M1 Ultra is 5 times faster at Final Cut Pro than Mac Studio with an M1 or the Mac Pro. Outsized performance. Whatever. I bought the trash can, and then what a waste of money. What a freaking waste of money that was.
But how is that a waste of money though? Like
I
don't understand why it's $2,000, but
I bought an old one I bought something called the trash. They ended up calling it the trash can, but they ended up creating this fabulous new design. It was gorgeous and blah blah blah. And then they were like, "Yeah, we didn't like it. It didn't work very well, so we're just gonna dump it." So I spent $5,000 US on a computer, and I had nothing but problems with it from day one. Nothing but problems. I've always loved their laptops. Their laptops have been like bulletproof. Well, there was other than the keyboards.
Wait, there was a bulletproof laptop?
No, I just say that like, I mean, it's really hard to kill them. They worked really well is all.
I thought you meant that someone could shoot the laptop and it would stay alive.
That would be cool though, wouldn't it? That would be really cool. Not that you would need that. David, brother, just build your own thing. It's Malventano. Of course. Alan is not letting me get away with buying a PC. There's no point in buying your own thing right now, though, Alan, because there's just the supply chain is such a freaking mess. You can't get anything. Apple's bought all the freaking chips they need. They've actually got these the systems. Way more bang for the buck. Yeah, if you could get it, you can't buy it though. Wiley Cody, yes, trash cans weren't expandable. They were so stupid. They drove me crazy. Wiley Cody, it drove me nuts. I got it. I thought, great. I could sit on this for the next 10 years. Well, not 10 years. I thought I'd get 5 years out of this, no problem. And honestly, from day one, it had problems. So I gave it to my sister. Video cards are crazy expensive.
I like how you whispered that under your breath. So I gave it to my sister.
I know. I gave it to Moy. Poor Moy. But she won't use it for what I was using it for anyway, so it'll probably work fine for her. But for me, it was just, oh God, it was awful. It was a pain in the ass. All right. Hey, Malventano, by the way, I was just showing off your iris. They were talking about, Wolfpup was talking about drawing circles. I was showing off the iris thing you gave me. Okay. Yeah, right now, I can't, the expense is just crazy. It's just crazy. It's in the drawer. I know, Malventano, it's in the drawer, like, to be used. That's my toolkit. That's where all my tools are, in the drawer. M1 Ultra top spec apparently outdoes the RTX 3090, but I doubt there's any cost savings. Really? Is that right? I paid the equivalent of a MacBook Pro for one RTX 3080. Wow. Holy moly. What do you mean you'll allow it? Malventano, the whole point was it's there at my fingertips so that I can use it when I want to. That's if I had it on my desk, I'd never find it because there's always too much crap on my desk. I see. Yours is on your desk on display. I see. I should have it displayed. I mean, I suppose I could put it up on, I guess I could put it up there. But then I have to take it out of I love the box and everything. I like unpacking the box and taking it out. That's what I like. All right. Do you have a life signs detector in your tool drawer? I wish, Mecklin. I wish I'd taken some of those things. I wish I'd taken a couple of props. I should have just walked off with a couple of props. I'm convinced that Jason did. But
wait, you're allowed to do that?
No, that's the problem. You're not. Although I have a few things that I'm probably not supposed to have. From C, I have the staff that I use in C, and a few little bits of star. Oh yeah, I mean somebody does. My iris is ceremonial. It's very true. Yeah, no, I keep it in the box. I like the box. The box is lovely. Okay, so let's see if there's any tech news, shall we? Wolfpup, is there any science news or any interesting science news out there? Let's have a look. I'm looking now.
I haven't been paying attention because of what's happening in...
I know, that's my problem. Because I keep getting distracted. All right. Okay. What do we got? Here we go. Using drones to protect endangered wildlife. Yeah, we've talked about that. Instagram influencers.
Have you seen the video of the person who has drones to pick apples?
No. I have not. Okay, apple picking drone. Is that what it is? Apple picking drone. All right, I'm looking. There's a flying fruit picking autonomous vehicle. Is that it? On Mashable? Is that the one? Am I going to get in trouble for showing this? Am I going to get in trouble?
It might be that one.
Shh, don't. Oh, does it fly around picking apples?
Yeah, nobody can see it right now. You're not showing it on stream.
Can I though?
I don't know. That's why I'm
Let's
just
find out what
warning you.
happens. Let's find out if I do. Let's see what happens if I do. If I get like
Let's see
instantly
if I
banned.
get banned from
Okay, so here you
Twitter.
go. Look at this. Can I move that behind something so it's not quite so? If it's there, is that better? There you go. I got all these other windows open too, didn't I?
Oh, we can. It's now behind the
Is that better?
stream
How's that?
avatars.
So there's some kind of a so they can they're wow, okay. So these things fly around. They look kind of awkward though, don't they?
They do, but they work. So
Do they work? I guess if they work, right? What else can you say? It's true. Let me just close it off. See, I prefer the soft grippers. You know? Have you seen these? The soft grippers?
they use that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, do they? No, it looked like they were using like they look like little hooks. No, they're using like. Oh, look here. I'll try to open back up again. Window capture. Boom. Nope. Game capture. Nope. What? Is that not the right one? Chrome capture, is that it? There you go. So look, you could sort of see there. It's hard to see, but they've actually just got like it's just like a little hook, not hook, like a little claw. Like it might be soft-ish, but it's not. You know.
It's probably like a little soft thing, like foamy.
You think maybe? All right, let me see.
Like
if I...
it's probably just there so.
Oh, here you
can
go. Was
have
there a
grip.
close? I thought there was a close up there. Wait a sec. Was there? I thought there was like a close up of them actually gripping the things. Let's see. Look here. Looking. Come on. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh no, that's just like some. This looks kind of like a. I don't know. This looks like a. Oh, what's that? No, there was a different. You're right. There was a different type of gripper. Yeah, like that one's got a different gripper than this one. Oh no, they both are the same. It's like a 3-fingered gripper. No, I like these soft. There's a soft gripper thing that I think is smarter.
Yeah, but how would it keep its grip as well? That's the question.
Well, yeah, and apparently it's a very difficult thing to figure out. You know? So there's suction. A lot of them use suction of some kind. But there was a better one, which was like a soft robotics. Let me see if I can get. It goes way back. I saw this guy talk at a robotics conference back long before the pandemic, in the before times. Soft. No, not a sort robot. That's why I can't find it. Soft, not sort robots. Stupid Google. Let me see if I get like. Oh, look at this. Check this out. Okay, wait a sec. This is what I like. I like this one. Check it out. Is it that one? Nope. Window capture, no. Chrome, that's it. Okay. So check this out, baby. Is there a way to...
Unique and creepy soft robots.
Yeah. Check this out. Isn't that wild? Look at that.
I've seen that one.
Look at that.
I've seen the one where it goes through like a.
That's Festo. I think that's Festo. Yeah, I knew it. Festo always make the coolest robot stuff. That's pretty neat. And then, yeah. But there's also, look at, I like this one too, where they'll pick up a, see? It just basically expands by blowing air into these things. I don't want to get in trouble for that. That, see? That's the kind of thing you could be using to pick apples. See if they can do. If they show us to. Ew, that's creepy looking. It sort of blobs around. There you go. So that would be used for. Ugh. You can build those. Be kind of fun to do actually. Anyways, there was I don't really. Yeah, it's sort of soft, I guess. That would work. I guess in a way, simplest is best, isn't it? But I guess they've got. Oh, stop it! There you go. The idea being is that like, what if that like you inflate it, it opens up, and then it grips.
There's one that does that, and it goes through like pipes.
Inspired by nature. Yeah. Oh, there's that. Yeah. I've seen that one where it could just go. Yeah, it's kind of neat. You wait; these things are gonna be everywhere soon.
Now imagine 100 of those following.
Yeah, no kidding. You imagine? That'd be creepy as all hell. That would be some seriously creepy. Germans are warned not to use Kaspersky's antivirus. Really interesting. That's interesting.
Why not?
Is it being hacked or something? I heard there was a massive. Get this. Apparently, there was a massive hack at the Russian Department of like Information or something, where they spy on people, and and apparently a whole ton of information got hacked by Anonymous or something, and then Putin got all freaked out and went in and like arrested everybody. But again, I'm not sure exactly what the deal on that is. But yeah, they're a Russian company. That's right. Kaspersky is a Russian company. He's being quite vocal about how unhappy he is with the Putin approach, though, isn't he? Let me see about this Russia intelligence hack. Let's see if that was the one. Nope, that was 21. I'm looking for Russian-backed hackers behind powerful new malware. Not okay. Russian secret intelligence agency hacked. There you go. This is the one. So apparently, oh, no, wait a sec. This article is more than 2 years old. Oh, never mind. Well, maybe it was a. Okay. Okay. Let me just look for. Let me change the tools and figure it out. In the past month. Here we go. Okay. Russian-backed hackers. No. I want to be no.
I used to use that, but I stopped. The Kaspersky.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Okay, wait a sec. Russia sandworm hackers. Companies should prepare what America should do.
Now I just use the built-in Windows one because it's in my PC. So wouldn't that be better?
Well, that's my theory. My theory is that Windows is probably better at understanding how Windows works and how to stop things from nailing them. It's not perfect, but I don't imagine that a company outside of Windows is going to be any better at it. But that's just my own, Wait a sec. Anonymous hacked into Russia's top. That's it. This is it. Okay. This is. I'm not sure if this is the right article, but here we go. So Anonymous. Oh, I don't want a Dell ad for God's sake. Okay. Anonymous hacks into Russia's top
Anonymous
censorship.
stopped.
They stopped? No.
I thought.
We're supposed to expect them. I got to say, I'm kind of a fan of Anonymous. Like, I know they break the law and stuff, and maybe they do some things that aren't great. But I've always had kind of a soft spot for them because I just think it's so cool that they're using their like cyber hacking abilities to right the wrongs that they see in the world and stuff. I mean, even if you don't agree with them. Anonymous hacks into Russia's top censorship agency to reveal the truth and undermine Putin. So, So amid fears that leaders could cut off the internet, Anonymous hacked into media censorship agency Roskomnadzor and took emails and files. So this is okay. So it's the service that oversees access to media like Facebook and Twitter in Russia, and recently has threatened to cut off access to Wikipedia because of its coverage of the Ukraine invasion. The service has also ordered all media outlets in Russia only to use state-approved information sources or face punishment. Words like attack, invasion, and war are prohibited when describing Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So they've basically hacked the company that is censoring information in Russia. And they've got this massive, massive database of information, which they're saying, please don't load it, because if you load it, what's going to happen is you may get hacked too, because it's tons of emails. But from these emails, I'll put this link in the chat as well. But from these emails, they've discovered that there's, not everyone is that happy about the way Putin has handled this stuff. So, and then Russia reacted. Russia's deputy digital minister, Andrei Chernenko, is calling on Russian state-owned websites to escalate security. He's urging them to move away from JavaScript, stick to domestic sources. State-owned web services have also been instructed to switch to domain name servers in Russia only, I'm guessing. And I think Putin moved in. I thought he moved in and said, hey, we got to... And then, I think he arrested someone for, screwing it up. The other thing that happened that I thought was really interesting, and I don't know if this is true or not, and people feel free, obviously, to let me know, was... I stick to what I say. Stop connecting your core systems to the internet. Yeah, that might help. So one of the things that happened, which I thought was really interesting, was apparently Putin took a ton of money, like billions and billions of dollars, and gave it to to one of his, spy groups or whatever, to go into Ukraine and pay people to be pro-Russia. So pay a bunch of people to infiltrate into Ukraine and go like, we're Russian and we want to separate. We don't want to be Ukraine. We want to be Russia. So basically pay all these people so that when the troops rolled into town, everyone's going to be there waving flags because they've all been bought by Russia is the idea. Well, guess what went wrong? The people he gave the money to stole the money. They didn't.
The money and ran.
They stole the money. Apparently, I don't know if they ran or not what, but apparently people had been stealing this money because
But
it's.
how much was he paying for?
I don't know,
like,
but apparently a lot of money.
That's basically like hush money type thing.
I can hear him fine, but my volume is up pretty high. Am I low? Oh, do we do this? Is that better? Is that better for people if I go up to that? I'm at 100%. Okay, all right. How's that? Is that better? I might have hit my microphone and knocked it down a bit. Let's see if that's better. David sounds okay to me. Okay, great. Yeah, isn't that wild though? Like I just thought that was okay. McCabe's here. Fantastic. I'm so glad we can start now. Okay, McCabe. Oh, things are beeping in my ear. Hang on, make sure I'm not going to miss anything important here. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay, great. All right, perfect. My wife wants me to go and look at the people across the street are selling their house, and when she went to look around because she likes to sort of see looky-loo, go and see what's going on, she found that they had a big old cabinet that she really wants to see if she can talk them into selling her. So she wants me to go and have a look at it tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, what do we got? Wow, double stream. Yeah, at the same time, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? David sounds like it'd be good. Okay, I'm here. What do we got? So I get the difference between Mac and Windows. Well, okay. Oh, let's go back. Okay, so get this. So he paid all this money. The money did not get spent on what he thought it was getting spent on. So they're wondering if maybe that's why they weren't so prepared when they went in, because they thought they'd already laid the groundwork by spending billions of dollars or rubles, whatever it is, on infiltrating all these different cities and paying people to sort of like to claim that they want to be a part of Russia. So, during Black Lives Matter, I watched a cop pay someone to convince the crowds to go home. I mean, yeah, which is, I guess, is that bribery? Would it be bribery? No, it'd be bribery if they were paying the cop, I guess. I don't know how that works. I get like, here's $20. Please don't be a riot. I mean, I suppose that's, that is weird. That's very sort of strangely capitalistic, isn't it? Okay, Krillin says, I get the difference between Mac and Windows Linux PCs. Some like a PC with the spec up front they think they would need for the life of it. If there are any promise or parts needed replacing when it's someone else's deal with it. Also, they don't mind paying for the fashion statement and Apple tax to own one too. I get it. Nothing wrong with that. But I know better. I have been using PCs since Windows 3.12. Yeah, so I started with Windows. Then I went to Mac. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Windows 3.1.
Yep.
When was that made?
Ooh, that would have been probably the 90s, early 90s, I guess, something like that. Let's find out. Let's go to the great Google in the sky and ask them. When did Windows 3.1 come out? Here we go. That would have been 1992. What did I say? So I've been using Windows before it was even Windows. Get that. I was using something called Digital Research DOS. DR-DOS, I believe, was one of the first DOS-based or PC-based thing. When did that come out? So that would be 1988. And then there was, of course, the brilliant Commodore 64. What did the Commodore 64 run? I don't remember. What was the operating system for the Commodore 64? Does anyone remember? That was 82. What did it run? Does anyone remember what it ran? What the Commodore 64 ran? I'd be curious to know. Aquatic Alice, 92. That's me year. Commodore was using their own OS. But what was it? Do you remember what it was called, Movie Lab? Some form of BASIC? I remember programming it in BASIC for sure. The question, Malventano, was what was the operating system on a Commodore 64? Was it Amiga OS? No. It was a whole different system, right? I believe. I believe. Um, so, now it's just Commodore OS. Is that it? Really? Okay. I don't remember it at all. I don't remember anything about that. 64 OS. I'm sort of curious to see it now. OS. I think there's an emulator, isn't there? Is there a 60? Is there a? There we go. Useful today's moment. Wow. Okay. Welcome, Commodore 64 OS. Wow. There's actually a whole. There's a 64os.com. 64OS has one goal: make a Commodore 64 feel fast and useful in today's modern world. Is this like legit? 64 has many operating systems written for it, so why write another one? So this is just a new. Is that? Sorry, just so everyone knows what I'm talking about. I'm looking at this right now, which I find somewhat amusing. All right, let me just see. Is there? Let me see. Is there a? I wonder if there's a Commodore 64 OS emulator. Emulator. Is it only OS X? Is that it? Ooh, is there one online? The Versatile Commodore Emulator. Oh, so you can download it. Is there an online one?
What is a C64?
Oh, Commodore 64. That was the computer I learned to program on. There you go. Let's have a look. I'll show you this now. Check this out. So this is what you're gonna laugh at us now. This. Oh, why is it not showing that? Excuse me. Done. All right. This is the operating system I used to use.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was it. Commodore 64 RAM system.
My second question is, what is a cassette desk?
Oh, that's how you used to load programs. So you used to put like a tape drive into it. You'd put a tape, and the tape would whirl away, and it would read the tape like it was listening. But it would, it took forever. Open 64 keyboard. Okay. So, I think you used to have to you type like run, ready. Does anyone remember? I don't even remember how to. Any of this stuff. Joystick. Drop your 64 file here to load and play. Oh my God, how wild is that? Could you do things like, could you list? I wonder if it'll let me just do this. No. Directory? Nope. List? Nope. Was it basically, I don't remember this at all. Come on, someone give me a code. Someone load. All right, what's that? I'm just geeking out. Don't worry about me. All right, load.
How do you know how to do that, though?
How do I know? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's Malventano's telling me what to write. Watch this. See what happens if I do this.
Type in.
Oh, it
1,
won't
2,
let me.
3, 4, 5.
It won't let me.
Doesn't print do something?
Oh, that's true. So you could say print. Hello.
Hello world. Like that's.
Out of data already. What? Okay, let me just get rid of this. Okay, wait a sec. So
Wait,
there was.
How does an online emulator? Why does it have data?
Print. Why is it not letting me do a? Why can't it? It's not letting me do. Interesting. No. Why won't it let me do? Wow. Okay. It won't let me do a quotation mark. Is that not able to? They had quotation marks back then for sure, didn't they? Nope. Nope. Is that's literally my options? Was that really it? Okay. Well, what if I do? Could it be like print? Hello? Nope. Wouldn't do that either. My keyboard doesn't work on this for some reason. It prints the wrong things. Wow. Okay. So Malventano had one for us. He said, oops, I made my screen too small. I can't see what's going on.
Sorry if you heard that. My
quote was in a different
headphones
place
fell
on
off.
that keyboard, really. Apple IIe was lovely too. It really was, wasn't it? Load. Okay. I don't see. I wonder if it'll let me do this. So if I do this, print hello. Oops. I see it. It uses that keyboard when you're in there. Can't go back. Boy, this was frustrating. I remember it now. Oops. Nope.
I remember now that this was frustrating.
I remember I hated this. Delete, 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 delete. I see. Okay, so
Why
let's.
did I do this?
So print, and then let me go to here. Let me put in that, and then we go back to there, and then we go, hello. Space. Where's the space key? Is that space? HEWLETT, and then we go shift, and there. How about that?
How do you even remember how to do this after?
I obviously don't. Ah, come on. What happened to the print hello? Really? Do I have to put like a colon after it or something? Or is there... No, I don't remember any of these things. I don't remember this at all. But no, I remember... Oh, God, I used to love it. Used to love it. I used to love this stuff. Using up that 64K. No kidding, huh? Xenos put some code in for us. Okay, what do we got there? Okay, 10. I can't cut and paste, unfortunately. I wish I could cut and paste because that would be so much easier. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Let's just see if I've just failed miserably at it. Okay, go back here. Okay, so can I cut and paste? No, it won't let me do the. It won't let me cut and paste. Shoot. Yeah. I remember this from the back in the day where you used to have to. I used to buy magazines that had programs in them, and then you would type them out.
Now it's just like, oh yeah, just copy and paste this.
Yeah.
Now it's like, go to this website, copy and paste it in.
I'm so used to it being easier now, isn't it? It's amazing. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so let's try this. So, oh my God, I almost forgot. I forgot the numbers. That was basic. Basic, man. That was basic, man. Okay, there. Shift. There we go. I'm going to go back off that shift again. Clear home. Okay. Can I... all right. Let's do this. All right. I'm going to go CL. Why is it doing... Oh my God, this keyboard thing is frustrating. Okay. So now I want to go CL R slash HOME. And I'm going to close that by going up there. And then I'm going to go there. Okay. Can I return that now? And then 20. Ah. Okay, I can't do it. It's driving me crazy. I got to figure the keyboard out. But that's how I used to do. That's literally. Oh, there you go. Retro. Ah, look at that. Thank you, Xenos. Look at that. Oh, okay. So I can. Oh, that's interesting. So I could download the file. Okay. And then I can actually load a file here if I want to by going in here.
Pretty sure you can copy and paste in that little area there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Copy code. I wonder if it'll let me. Okay, so I have to actually download the file and then drop it in. Let's see if I can do this. Downloads. Here we go. Let's put this in there. Nope. Let me do that. Downloads. Downloads. Oh. Is that really not all files? File. Will let me do that? No. It's got to be renamed. Oh boy. Okay. Let's go with.
Are you still trying to do?
I'm still trying to do it. I know, but it's just. I just want to. Meh. I just want it to work once. It's like I'm. All right. Let's just do this. Like I'm gonna call it like I don't know. Let's just call it CRT. How about that? .crt. .crt. Okay. So let's do this. Okay, I'm going to now go in here. I'm going to open this file. Open. This type file doesn't support auto joystick port detection. Please choose joystick swap ports if needed. What? I don't know. Return. Run. Does that run the pro? Oh, man. That's auto start. It's supposed to have done it already. Oh, it did. It cleared the screen. It cleared the screen and went to home. Oh, I see. Oh, it did that. So it did that at least. That's something. Okay. That's fun. All right. And then, okay. And then I went to here. Okay. Can I, that's the whole file. All right. Okay. That's the pattern. That's the weird pattern thing. That is kind of neat. Okay, so that's creating a... Whoop, what does that do? Oh, there's some fun graphics. Okay, so I'm going to download the file. Okay. Open file. Okay. Let's call it... let's just try CRT again, see if that works. Rename it. Yes. Okay. I'm going to... will it let me drag and drop? Drop your file here. Okay, so if I go here, pop that on there. Did it work? Did it run? I think it ran so fast it didn't even... Okay, don't auto start. Don't auto start. Let's just do this. Okay, there we go. Put that on there. Okay. Joe! I keep missing it. I said don't auto start, you jerk. Okay. It tried. I don't know whether it's flawed or I'm flawed, or both of us are flawed. We're probably both flawed. All right. I'm totally geeking out. Oh my God, but that's so much fun. Is that an error below the drag and drop window? No, it was not, I don't think. I think it was... I
just want to say, there is this website where basically you can code like this, but you can choose to code in block code or normal code.
Right.
I cannot remember what it's called, but I think you would like it.
And it's a I think they made the control. Last week, Zoom floppies. Oh, wow. I missed all sorts of stuff. Game Genie. I do remember Game Genie. Apple Kit. Yeah, there's some really fun things here. Let me see if there's a... Whoa, C4 music. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Wait, are you talking about C418 or...
No. This is a Commodore 64. It's like a music... It's like a music thing. Wow. So yeah, so how to program your Commodore 64. I remember not maybe this specific book, unless maybe there were more of them, but I read a book on this, and you would cut and paste. You couldn't cut and paste because the information was all... Wow, look at that. 340-page manual on how to program. Wow. Man, oh man, this is... That's the Internet Archive. That's what you're talking... Is that what you're talking about? The Internet Archive? That's got lots of stuff here. Lots of stuff. Real Thing Modern Mods. These are the programs you can run. Let's use Vice, the Versatile Commodore Emulator. Vice. Oh, I see. That's... Oh, you're supposed to download this. You're supposed to download it and run it. I see. Okay, well, you know what I might do? I might actually... If I get a chance, I'll do that. Because it'd be kind of fun just to have a couple things run. What is this? Chorus Side A. Wow. That's weird. So it looks like you can actually run some of these apps. Oh, that is kind of fun. All right, I got to figure this out. That is neat though. So there's a little emulator there, which is kind of fun to play with. Obviously, as I've just lost myself entirely to it. Was there any other science stuff? I wonder, is there any, like, have we missed anything exciting in the world of science recently?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to science stuff because of what's
Yeah.
happening.
All right, let's see if there's any. I mean, a lot of it was like hacking and stuff related news. I found that was most of the tech news was about like hacking in during the war and stuff, right? But let me see. Nope. Wow. Yeah, there's not a lot of tech stories out there right now.
I don't think anybody's really doing stuff because of how what's like happening.
Well, so there you go. So the top stories at BBC are the fact that they're saying Germany warns about using Russian antivirus software. Ukraine offered tool to search billions of faces. Could be used to uncover infiltrators and to identify the dead. Oof. I think it's that face recognition software that they were freaking out about here. Clearview AI. That's right. So Clearview AI is this software that allows you to identify faces, but I think they had some problems because it was basically racist. It was misidentifying a lot of non-white faces, and assuming that they were I think it was this one. I could be wrong. Game intelligence disrupt crime. There you go. So this is the software that they're talking about here. Hang on a second.
So basically, Did you ever hear about Microsoft Tay?
Oh yes, we talked about that, didn't we?
I don't remember. Wait.
This was the AI that went all racist. When it was released on Twitter and like
they corrupted it in like
yeah,
a day.
Humans were so horrible that it started emulating them. It started emulating them as like basically it was like a Holocaust denier and a racist and it's sexist and it was horrible. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was Clearview AI. So that's I guess the idea being is that facial recognition potentially could get to the point, or could be at the point, where it's better identifying people than humans are. I know that there was some discussion about the fact that these autonomous drones could take out people more accurately than humans could. They were better at identifying people, but of course, people were not comfortable with the idea of a robot taking the kill shot on these things.
So why wouldn't they just get like a human to verify that's who they want to shoot type thing?
And that's basically what they're doing. But they're not. I don't think they've actually. Well, I mean, that we know of, they haven't used specifically these things to like assassinate people. But so they were. So there was a few things. There were some issues. It's previously attracted fines from data regulators. I don't know what the fines were. Let's have a look and see what they got caught for. They've been criticized by privacy watchdogs. In November, the UK's data privacy regulator, the Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, issued the company with a provisional £17 million fine. So I don't know what the pound's worth, but it's more than $1, I think. It was also fined 20 million euros, Jesus, which is another basically 17 million, by Italian regulators, which would amount to biometric monitoring techniques to individuals in the countries. And while this technology is used by the U.S. law enforcement, the company is facing lawsuits in America over its use of images gathered from the internet. So it's scraping information from the internet. That's where it's finding the images of people to identify. And I guess if you don't give them, if you haven't given them permission, they shouldn't be doing that. Really, is that the idea? I mean, I feel like I haven't really done anything wrong, so I don't really care, and my face is all over the place anyway. But I guess I can imagine for people who haven't decided whether they want to be out in the world, you know. But I sort of feel like if you've put your face and stuff on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, then doesn't that kind of mean it's public anyways? Doesn't it? What do you think, Wolf Pup?
think the same thing. If it's already on there, then you don't really have to worry.
Hmm.
Because Facebook and Instagram already have seen your face, and they're probably already sold it to 20 different websites.
Right. Wow, Facebook just got fined £17 million for breaching EU data privacy laws. Oh, man. When are they just going to put that company out of its misery?
It's
TikTok.
still making a ton of money, though. That's the weird thing.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's got so many people on it, right? I mean, there's still a lot of people on it, right?
But, like, Facebook does that, but then they try to get people into Facebook gaming and all that.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like it. I think it's got an aging population, but now it's called Meta, and everyone's wearing their freaking VR goggles, right?
Not everybody, really.
Well, not everyone, but they're probably the
There's
highest.
still Oculus goggles. There's...
Well, Oculus isn't Oculus
Why are
owned?
we calling them goggles?
Isn't I don't know. They just look like goggles to me. Do they look? I mean, are they? Isn't Oculus owned by Facebook now? Did I get that wrong? Is the wrong? Is that
Oculus is owned by Facebook, but they
Yeah.
changed everything to Meta.
right? Because they want to hide from the fact that they're Facebook and everyone hates them.
Yeah.
Convert oil wells to solve the solar storage problem. What? Large-scale, long-term solar storage. That's weird. Wonder how they're doing that. NASA's astrobees are used to test feasibility of satellites capturing tumbling space junk. Ooh, that's cool. So the idea of stuff, so we get rid of junk by using these astrobees. That's interesting. Let's have a look at that, shall we? Want to see what's going on there? All right, thank you. Let's bring this up, and you can see what's going on here. You can see what's going on here. All right. So this is a chase satellite approaches and docks with a tumbling target satellite. Okay.
Oh, something that we learned about at school that I surprisingly actually found interesting is we learned about AIs.
Oh, yeah?
Like how AI thinks about to get to a different side, it would flip itself over instead of like you can arrange a human to get to the other side as fast as possible, but instead of making it like human, they would just make it this big like stick and just fall over.
Huh. What do you mean? The AI came up with a new way of doing something? Is the idea?
Yeah,
Or?
like they basically gave them the body parts of a human
Ah.
and basically said you can like get to the other side,
Hmm.
but the AI went so it like falls, like it just stacked them all on top of each other and fell instead of
Wow.
what we wanted.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's AI human movement? What was it? What would it be? I wonder what it'd be under. This AI learns human movement from videos. Artificial. Do you remember where it came? Excuse me, where it came from?
No, it was just on YouTube. I might be able to find it if I can't get it. I thought it was on my computer, but it's on my Chromebook.
Huh. All right. Well, if you get it, send me the link in like in Discord or something. Physics cap AI based motion capture. No, humanoid can mimic human movement in real time. AI learns human movement from unorganized data. Is that right? This AI learns human movements from videos. That's interesting. My stomach is growling away. I think I might have to go get some lunch. There we go.
Heard just a slight little, just like a little like tapping sound, and that was your stomach.
That might have been, or my mouse, one of the two. All right, let me see. AI learns movement from unorganized data. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Huh. Oh, was this? Okay, wait a sec. Let me see. Let me see if this was it. Was it this one? Nope. It seems to be moving okay, this one. Oh. Oh, that. Is this the one you were talking about? where he gets hit by a ball and
Yeah,
reaches.
no, not that one. Search up. The danger of AI is different than what you were thinking.
Okay.
That's what it's called, I think.
All right. The danger of AI is weirder than you think.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a TED Talk?
Yeah. I think.
All right.
I didn't watch the video. I watched it at 2 speed.
Okay.
Because we didn't have enough time in class, so I watched it at 2 speed.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So if I turn this on, you can see what she's saying. Assembles itself. It assembles itself into a tower and then falls over. So how to reach a goal? As it turns out that the way AI tends to solve this particular problem is by doing this. It assembles itself into a tower and then falls over. Ha! And lands at point B. And technically, this solves the problem. Ha! Oh, that's interesting. It's going to ask. So I guess the point being is. So the point being, I guess, is how do we got to learn to ask the right questions. Otherwise, it's going to try to solve things that could be detrimental to us. You don't want it pulling us apart in order to make a tower to hit its point, right?
No, I would not like to be ripped apart by a robot.
Right. James Gurney's found something. Dun dun dun.
A good chunk of your
What? Yes, that's it. So James is as always, way ahead of us. Garbage in, garbage out, indeed. Failed to program in the proper constraints. Yes, I hope that someday I will be able to leave Russia. Life in Russia is terrible. Teleport me to BC 304 Daedalus, please, and take it to a safe place. Oh, Flashara, I'm so sorry. I would not want to be there too right now. I can only imagine. But just so you know, we know it's not you. We know it's not you. You be safe, though. All right. Oh, my gosh. That almost gave me a heart attack. Pure logic behavior. What, the dog? Did the dog move? What happened? All right. You know what? I should wrap up because I'm beginning to lose the thread because I'm freaking starving because I'm supposed to, my wife and son aren't here, so they don't remind me to eat.
I'm pretty sure we're having pasta.
Oh, maybe I'll make some pasta. Maybe that's what I'll do. Actually, no, you know what? I had some meals arrive. Maybe I'll make an early meal. An early dinner. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock. Oh, no wonder I'm hungry. It's not lunch. I haven't even had. I gotta have dinner. I kind of forgot lunch. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. I better get out of here. Pulled pork last night. That's not a food tease. That's like a historical food tease. That's no good.
It's the type of food that you would eat.
Exactly. I would love that. Oh, I'd like to order some food. That's what I'd like to do. But I've got all this food that's being delivered, so I got all these like meals to make. Actually,
because Gimpy G couldn't be here today, he gave me a list of insults to tell you.
Oh, did he? Oh, good. Anything good?
I have already done all of them.
I know. McKay forgetting lunch is just not good. Did you get through all of them?
Yep.
Nice. Very good. Very good. All right.
You know what that's a reference to, right?
What's that?
He didn't actually give me a list, but you don't know what the reference is.
No. What's the reference?
It's to The Simpsons.
Oh, is this Simpsons reference? See, I don't watch enough Simpsons. I could care less about crypto anything and wish it would piss off already. Wow, Krillin doesn't like it. And go away. I always hated everything crypto, but if you like it, good on you. I will never and will always want it gone. Well, I think
chat is asking you a very important question.
What's that?
What is your favorite food?
I don't know. I like a lot of food. I like a lot of food indeed. Yeah. I like pizza a lot. I'm a big fan of pizza. Big fan of pizza. I like popcorn. Popcorn is the one I really like. Cheese. I love cheese. Actually, I just like food. What am I saying? I just like food. All right, K McCabe's out of here. I got to get out of here too. Where are we gone? James Gurney. I missed the D&D chat earlier. Did you want to do a character building stream? I do want to do that, but I got to talk to Barnacle about it. Or maybe we just do it here. I don't know.
Do the character building thing here, but then
Yeah.
do
That's
where
a thought.
everybody's gonna be swearing and
on Barnacles' channel, maybe.
I'm
Yeah.
curious if you're gonna go up against any dragons. And
I
if
don't
you
know.
have a bard.
If I have a bard, I have to decide on another character. I think I got to come up with a new guy.
Because if you have a bard, then the dragon is either not gonna have a good time or it is
What
going.
are bards good against dragons? What do they just make them fall asleep because they sing?
I'm pretty sure.
Is that right? Really? They are
Also,
going to fight
everybody-
old age. Yeah, that's true. Well, we lost that one already, James. Thank you very much. We've already lost that battle against old age. All right, everyone, get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go make some food. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Wolf Pup, as always, a true pleasure. I'm sorry Gimpy G couldn't join us today, but we'll get another one. Party wipe. What's a why party wipe? I don't know what that exactly means. 3.14. I had pizza pie.
Oh, it's. Wait.
Girl for security first. I do like privacy. Thanks for streaming. Enjoy your lunch dinner. It's true. Cellular regeneration could fix aging. Yeah, that'd be nice. Fighting old age. We all lose.
Then I understood that joke.
You understood that joke?
But then I ununderstood it.
I ununderstood it. You deprogrammed yourself. All right. Wolf Pup, a pleasure as always. Everyone else, I will say be safe, be kind, be brilliant, and huzzah! And now I'm going to get out of here because I got to go eat something. I got to figure something else good to eat. All right. Goodbye, everyone. I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the next day. Who knows? I'm on my own schedule now. It's very, very scary. All right. Get out of here, guys. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Wolf Pup. Bye.